everybody, and welcome back. Welcome one, welcome all. Take your seats, find your seats. It's assigned seating. Don't switch seats. I'm going to send the porters down. If you sit in the wrong place, we're going to have to move you. It's going to be a whole thing because it's time for the RageSelect podcast. Here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
Yeah. Michael, do you ever hear the thing where it's like you go to a place like an airplane or like the Alamo Draft House, and there's like assigned seating where you get a seat,
yeah.
and then somebody else just sits in that seat, and then you go up and you're like, this is my seat, and they're like, oh, why don't you just sit somewhere else? And it's like, wait, what? No.
It's been a bit since that's happened to me. It's happened to me a few times, and every time I'm like, no.
These are the rules.
I paid for these specific spots.
Yeah,
so...
I picked the window seat because I wanted to sit next to the window because I hate you fuckers. Get in the middle because you didn't. I did this. I worked for this.
I paid for extra leg room on one,
yeah.
And somebody was just like, why don't you sit? No. I paid for the leg room, you dumb idiot.
I don't understand this attitude of just like, well, I'm just going to do whatever I want to.
Yeah.
Why don't you just accommodate me? Why don't you just do it's like, bitch, I'm a person too.
Yeah. The last time it happened, my brother had gotten 40X seats for a movie.
Oh.
And these two people were like, these two like girls were like giggling, like, and they were like, those are our seats. They're like, oh. I'm like, don't just move. The movie's about to start soon. Please move.
Come on, man. Yeah, if you're in the audience, come on, man. Don't do that. That's not cool. That's not cool. Just sit in the seat that you got. Like make an effort.
Funny.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be. I have a feeling it might be a little bit of a salty podcast this week, Michael. I think that.
Look, Minecraft is a cinematic masterpiece or whatever. I don't watch it. I don't care.
Saline levels might be kind of high on this one. Yeah, because we got a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 to talk about. I know last week we had a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 to talk about, but this week we have even more Nintendo Switch 2 to talk about.
I'll preface this about what we're going to talk about soon.
Yeah.
I will only refer to him as King Koopa.
Well,
just to alleviate the rules.
We generally tend to try not to wade into politics on RageSelect, even though when the mics are off, you guys would not believe the conversations that are being had over here. But like, unfortunately, politics has come for video games.
Yes.
So like, there's no escaping it this week. But before we get into all that, Michael, I watched 2 movies last week.
What'd you watch?
I watched Mickey 17 and I watched Black Bag. Which would you like to hear about more?
Mickey 17, to be honest.
Mickey 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the new movie from, I forgot the director's name, but he's made some really good stuff.
Bong Joon-ho, right?
Yeah.
He did Snowpiercer and Parasite.
Yeah. He's made some of my favorite films, basically.
Yeah. It was really good. It was very much in the vein of Snowpiercer. So like kind of a farcical setup of this, like, I don't know. It was a very strange setup where like everything had a reason, but the reasons were very much like, this is a movie reason for this to happen. And basically,
so who else is in that movie besides Robert Pattinson, by the way?
The Hulk. I cannot for the life of me. The
Hulk is my favorite description of that I've heard.
The Hulk is in that movie.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yes, Mark Ruffalo.
Okay.
And then what's her face? That's not Tilda Swinton.
That could be anyone.
Toni Collette.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know a lot of the other people that are in here. Anna Maria Bartolome and Naomi Aki and
Stephen Yeun's in
Stephen
this.
Yeun, yes. And so basically the plot of this movie, for anybody who doesn't know, is that it's about like an intergalactic spaceship that is taking people to a new homeworld. And they're basically kind of a bunch of weird political zealots that all kind of semi-worship a weird dictator with strange mannerisms played by Mark Ruffalo and his wife. And Robert Pattinson plays Mickey. And basically, you know, this is like the beginning of the movie, so it's not that big a deal. But like, in order to get off of Earth, he signs a contract to become what's called an expendable. Mm-hmm. And like every ship has one of them. And basically what it is, it's weird because it's a lot like a book series that I really like, where like they take a scan of his memories and they take a scan of his body, and then they make him do shit, and he dies like constantly. And every time he dies, they print out a new body and they put his brain waves back in the body, and the brain waves are like recorded all the way up until the minute that he dies. So like, but like, this isn't like, oh, this is a hostile planet, so you got to go out there with a machine gun and fight the bugs on Klendathu. It's like, well, we're trying to figure out how to beat this pathogen on this planet, so we're just going to infect you with it, then start shooting weird shit into you to see if you're able to live.
No.
And then when you die horribly, we'll just like let you die and then do an autopsy and then print out the new one. So that's the baseline.
Yeah.
He plays a real like wormy guy.
Oh, okay.
Like he's real like skinny and he kind of talks. He's kind of this weird affectation to his voice where he kind of sounds like a goober. And so a lot of it is kind of about like how that happens and then kind of his place in this oppressive regime. And there's like, it's kind of got an alien vibe to it. There's like some, weird dudes on a planet. Just like a big space adventure, but in that weird like Snowpiercer way where it's kind of like, it's kind of gesturing in the direction of some kind of societal problem. I don't know, like unless I missed a day of news and we now have clones that we're trying to figure out whether
well, we have wolf clones, don't you? Haven't you heard, Jeff?
There's clone rights now. I don't know. I mean, like it's obviously like a lot of his stuff. It's about class, right?
Yeah.
Mickey is treated like garbage because he's like quote unquote expendable, and it's all about like even the lowliest of us could make a difference, even if he doesn't mean to. But it was good. I think that. Like if you're looking for something that is as heady as Parasite, something with as much to say as Parasite had to say, this is not that.
Okay.
Like it is much more Snowpiercer than it is Parasite. Even Snowpiercer probably had a little bit more to say than Mickey 17 did, because they had the train stratified into different classes of people, and so that was a very clear metaphor about people rising up and fighting the powers that be who are driving the train that we're all forced to be on. Like, so yeah, but
that's really cool though.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think it was fun. Like I said, I don't think it was as good as his other stuff, but it was by no means a bad movie.
That's good.
And it's also possible that I might have fallen a little bit prey to the like. Everybody was talking it up. It's a sci-fi movie, which I really like, and then like it had a really good like critic score and stuff. And I might have gone in with my hopes a little higher than they should have been.
Well, that's the thing I've heard about the movie is that some people were like, I really loved it, and so I knew like one or two people that just outright hated it.
Yeah,
but which is interesting because everybody loves the rest of his movies,
right?
So I was expecting it to be like okay,
yeah,
at best, but like at worst. So it's good to hear that it's good, but it's not like great like the rest of his other stuff was.
Yeah, I don't know. You got. I still have very strong feelings about Okja.
That's fair.
That was a very strange movie. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth a watch. Like, it definitely didn't, it didn't drag. Shit kept happening.
Okay.
Very good, like, sets and costumes and effects and stuff like that. It was all put together very well. I just, it wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it wasn't the worst. And then I'll just say really briefly, if you want a really dry spy thriller with Fassbender and my brain. What's her face?
I don't know.
God damn it.
Are you talking about the other movie?
Yes.
Oh, Black Bag.
Yes.
What is her name?
God, she's one of my favorite.
Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett. Yeah, one of my favorite actresses. I really liked Black Bag, and it's also like 90 minutes long. Like it gets in and it gets out, and it's just a bunch of people in suits, British people in suits, talking about like who's the mole. And I was like, ooh, okay, go for it.
It was Morocco Mole the whole time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked Black Bag a lot. I liked it more than Mickey 17, but that's just because it appeals to my like. If you like The Killer, you'll probably like Black Bag, and if you didn't like The Killer, you probably will not like Black Bag. So
okay.
How about you? Did you see anything good? Watch anything good?
I don't know about good. I watched something weird.
The Minecraft movie?
No, so my girlfriend we were going to watch a new episode of a show that we were into. It's going to be like the season finale of Abbott. But while we were waiting for it to come out, we discovered a show called Mid-Century Modern. And it's Nathan Lane having a new show, and it's him, the guy from White Collar, I think was the name of it.
Okay.
Matt Bomer and another guy named Nathan Lee Graham. They play three gay guys.
Okay.
Who live together, and it's a sitcom.
Okay.
A sitcom about three gay guys.
All right.
And I will say this: it is the gayest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. and I don't mean that as like a bad thing. I mean that as in like I was so gay I didn't understand half of the show.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend is bi, so she was laughing her ass off, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening half the time.
Okay.
But Nathan Lane is still very funny because Nathan Lane is a very funny guy.
Yeah.
Matt Bomer is interesting to watch in the show because I'm used to him playing these very dramatic type roles, but he plays like the Joey, or not even like the Joey. He plays like almost like a Kelso with like a more innocent Kelso, I guess.
Okay.
But and so he used to be like a Catholic guy who was outed when he was younger. So he has a very like interesting thought process, and the other guy is just like, you know, the typical like, oh, I'm the gay guy who's like really into fashion or whatever.
Okay.
And it's just these three gay guys living together because their fourth friend had died, and they feel bad, and they're like, we need to hang out more, and so let's all live together, and they do, and it's just a very gay sitcom. And Nathan Lane's mom lives with him. I forget who she's played by, but she's actually an actress that passed right after they made the show.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know what to say about it. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funnier if you're gay.
What? Where would you what sitcom would you compare it the most to? Like what level would you say it's on as far as the comedy of the sitcom goes?
It's like a gay 2.5 Men.
Okay.
Is a good way of putting it.
Okay.
Is my best like thing I could, because it has a laugh track and everything. Like it is a sitcom as a sitcom.
Okay.
It just happens to be like about three gay guys living together who are like who are older guys. And it's weird. Like, and I don't mean that as it's weird because it's gay. I mean it's weird because it's weird watching an old school sitcom again.
Right.
Because I haven't seen one in a very long time. Because everything nowadays doesn't have laugh track. You know, ever since 30 Rock and The Office, you know, took off.
Sure.
So it was interesting to see what a sitcom looks like again.
Did How I Met Your Father have a laugh track?
It did, and it was terrible. I tried watching How I Met Your Father when it started, and I was like, "This is really, really bad." And I thought it was like, well, maybe I wouldn't like How I Met Your Mother now. And I went back and watched the pilot for that.
Yeah,
I was like, no, I love this.
Yeah.
So this show is just bad. And this show I had fun with. It just like, again, it has jokes that I just don't understand because it's written to a very specific audience. So I'm sure those people will love it.
It's interesting because I just started rewatching Schitt's Creek, and I kind of forget this every time I start watching that show, where it's like that show is really weird because it's almost like every episode just starts like 20 minutes past like there's no introduction. It just kind of starts in the middle, and then a lot of the episodes just kind of end. Like there's a little bit of a resolution, but you know, it's like nobody like ha 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 ha, like you know, it's not the end of a sitcom. It's like everybody just kind of standing around, and then it just smash cuts to credits. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this one's over. Let's go to the next one.
That reminds, that's the thing about Schitt's Creek. That was one of the reasons I wasn't able to get in the Schitt's Creek when it started, because everybody loved it, and one of these days I'll go back and watch it because I heard it gets really good as it goes on. But I remember watching, going, I don't understand this, and I don't know if I like anybody in this show, except for Eugene Levy. But that's only because I have a love of Eugene Levy in general.
Sure. So
it's like, because I didn't really understand, I didn't really know his son very well.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what made his son take off in the stratosphere.
I think that show works really well because everybody on it like seems like an archetype, but as the show goes on, it's like, no, they're not. Like I don't know. There's like a weird separation between the parents and the children, but it becomes clear that like the parents do love their children and the children do love their I don't know. I think it's a pretty good show. Like it's a different vibe. I needed something that was like, I needed to reduce the drama.
Okay. I get it. No, I get it. Yeah.
It's kind of this quiet show set in a motel.
But if you love watching gay guys talk about fucking random dudes, go watch that show.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. That's Michael's recommendation for the week. With that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the news. Okay. Last week we had the big Nintendo Switch 2 announcement, and this last week on Wednesday I was supposed to be able to pre-order Nintendo Switch 2. I signed up with 4 different websites, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, for very specific reasons.
Yes. The reason is because the President of the United States came out with board full of numbers and just said, he's doing his best Oprah impression of just like, I'm going to charge everybody everything for everything.
Look, Dennis Hopper's King Koopa was like, we're going to tariff the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because fuck those guys specifically.
Yes, because fuck those guys specifically. Yeah, tariffs across the board. I know that he had said this when he was running, and I really hoped that there was like some kind of like Wall Street guy that would be like, you can't set the economy on fire for no reason. And he was like, hold my beer.
Yeah, he just did it.
So
Biff Tannen,
yes,
decided to just do it.
Yes,
because no one can stop him.
God,
I'm just gonna keep calling him different names.
Biff Tannen's a good one. I like that one. So anyway. For those, I don't know. I don't know who listens to the show anymore. President of the United States sweeping tariffs across the board for all imports. I don't know if you guys know this. Nintendo is a Japanese company that makes their products overseas and imports them into the United States of America, so they would be on the hook for tariffs.
Okay, yeah. Well, yes,
so, you know, you can't go pre-ordering a thing if you don't know what the fuck it's going to cost, because Nintendo's not about to eat a huge tariff. And part of this is, I think I was telling you about this before, part of this is that Nintendo, when it became clear that the United States was potentially going to go into a tariff / trade war / ground war with China, Japan decided to move a lot of their manufacturing from China to Vietnam. And they did a lot of that for the Switch too. One of the tariffs was a 46% tariff on anything coming out of Vietnam. So the idea that there was going to be a tariff on the $450 Nintendo Switch coming from Vietnam could have made it cost upwards of $600, like if that was just passed directly on to the consumer.
Yeah.
But then it was unclear, because you can't tell with this fucking guy. It was unclear whether, like, well, is he going to just stay the course on this, or is he going to quietly stop when it becomes clear that, like, the entire stock market is going to crash all the way through the floor into the molten magma that is close to the core of the earth, and then catch on fire and shit itself inside out.
Here's the thing, Jeff. No one knew what Lenny Luthor was going to do. He's not good enough for Lex Luthor, by the way, which is why I use Lenny Luthor.
Yeah.
Because if people were paying attention to these tariffs, they'd notice that he was also tariffing random things, and one of them, the most random of them all, was fucking Antarctica.
This is an island full of penguins.
Island full of penguins and researchers who don't buy things.
Yeah, Eesh. So, all right, tariffs. Nintendo hits the pause button on Switch pre-orders. We can't pre-order Switches, so that happened. Then this is a little story. I'm just gonna like get it all out for you. Okay, so first off, let's shift from the people in charge of both a country and a corporation to the individual users. So it should be noted that without even the tariffs, fans are not happy about $450 for Nintendo Switch 2. There were 2 Treehouse live streams that went on last week.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
Apparently the entire chat, the entire time, was filled with just lower the price, lower the price, lower the price, lower the price. But I think actually after doing a little bit of news story reading, I think I know why Nintendo has made this the price that they've made it. And I think it has to do with we're gonna go back and forth around this particular topic. Nintendo doesn't like to lower the price of anything.
No.
Super Mario Odyssey is $60. That game came out 5 years,
A very long time ago.
10 years
It
ago.
was like 2017, I think, something like that.
So Nintendo doesn't like to lower the price of things. They also tend not to raise the price of things, like a lot of the PS5 and the Xbox. Like there were inflation adjustments that raised the price of those in places that were not America. But the Nintendo Switch has been $300, It's been $300 since the day that it launched. It's never changed in price. It's never gone down in price. It's never gone up in price.
I think the OLED was the only time it went up.
When they had a new version, then that was a different price. The
And it wasn't that much more.
Switch SKU was $300. The OLED was $350.
No.
But Nintendo has never adjusted those prices. So if it's $350 for an OLED, you can't charge. Like they needed, their thinking was the idea that they were going to, that the Nintendo Switch 2 was a much more powerful system, so it couldn't cost $300. It couldn't cost $350. So they brought it up. Like we have a bunch of interviews here with like various reps from Nintendo that are just like. Like they're asked about the cost of the system, they're asked about the cost of the games, and their response is always just like, well, we think it's worth it. We think that there are all these new features. I get so fucking bad. Yep. Like, one of the quotes was them talking about how, like, well, you know, you can use the Joy-Con as mice now. And it's got that C button so you can chat with your friends. It's like a whole Discord app that we built that's built into the Switch. So we had to raise the price. Look at all these features. And I'm like, fuck your features. Sell me one that doesn't have the fucking mice or the fucking Discord. I don't want those. Yeah. I don't give a shit about those.
That's
like,
the funniest thing is like we didn't ask for the Discord.
Yeah.
We asked for a normal chat function the way every other console already has.
Yes.
And instead you decided to build a Discord that has to have a camera with it.
Yep.
It's stupid. There's no other way of saying it because it's just like you keep finding problems that nobody had.
Yep.
And then deciding, hey, let's fix those quote unquote problems. And then being like, are you happy with this now? And we're just like, no, I don't want any of this stuff.
Hey, you know what? I have a perfect solution to this. Make the camera $150 and then make it so that you can't use the app without plugging in the Nintendo camera, and then charge $400 for the system or something like that, right? Like charge $400 for the system and then make the camera $100, right? You put that extra tax on top and then make it so that if that camera is not plugged in, that feature will not actually function correctly. It's like if you want to put this stuff in here, give me the option, because right now I don't have the option. You're just like,
well, this is the Kinect thing all over again.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, we added in the ability for your Honda Civic to change colors like the Predator and hide in case you're ever chased by terrorists. I'm like, well, thank you, but I have arranged my life in a way where there are very few terrorists chasing me. I don't need that.
Look, Jeff, don't promise me Metal Gear Solid 4 technology for my car, because I would love that shit on my car right now.
I know you would buy it. I know you would buy it, but I bought a cheap-ass Honda Civic, and you bought a fucking muscle car over here.
It's true, which is why I would use it all the time.
Yes.
I would be like, I'm feeling purple today.
Yes. Back to the tariff question. So then we had some research that said that like there was another idea. This came from a financial research place about what the $450 price tag is, and that the $450 price tag is a built-in. It's not tariffs. It's not inflation. It's built in based on the trends of electronic prices moving upwards, so that Nintendo never does raise the price. That like this is the idea here, is that as we go forward, a lot of these electronics devices, personal electronic devices, are going to become more expensive because of inflation, because of supply chain issues, because of tariffs, because of all this stuff, and that Nintendo looked at all of these these storm clouds on the horizon, and so there's a very good possibility that it's going to cost us a lot more to make this. So, and Nintendo also doesn't sell their consoles at a loss. They tend to sell them at a profit. So the idea being like, we're going to price this at $450 now, and then like 5 years in, when the PlayStation 6 is $1,000, or like the new NVIDIA video card is $4,000 or whatever, because we're in the middle of fucking the franchise wars over here, like we won't have to touch the price of this thing. Like it'll be inflation proof because it's already got a 10-year inflationary / trade instability thing built into it. Now, that's an interesting idea, but I don't think it holds up, because if it did, then why would we pause the pre-orders? Well, if we already had financial chaos built into the price.
Well, there's financial chaos and there's man-made financial chaos, because they were basing it on what if nobody messes with the market, it's just going to keep moving from there,
right?
And so of course everything's going to go up after a while, but they didn't expect 5 seconds later for fucking Derek Powers from Batman Beyond. So that's why I had to make sure I said where he was from, to just fucking pop out of nowhere and went, everything's more expensive.
Yep.
And it's just literally 5 seconds later, and it was just like.
Yeah, that announcement
there was no way they could do that.
Wednesday, and the tariff stuff was announced over the weekend, right?
Yeah, it was Friday, and
yeah.
it was, and then because the other thing is that they built it into the idea that we're gonna get all the money up front first,
right?
Because they're front, because that's the other thing about making it higher in the beginning and then keeping it that way is you get all the front loaded money before the inflation goes up, because then by then you have all the cash, and so you have the spending power before you don't have the spending power,
right?
And so, but with tariffs, since they already said, okay, this is how much this is going to be, they would lose money on just shipping by itself.
Yes,
which is not something they would be able to. It's not something that they can they originally calculated into everything. Everything calculated into it was parts, labor, the size, the size of colors, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All that stuff makes sense from a manufacturing standpoint.
Yeah.
Everything else does not make sense because they weren't planning on having to deal with the shipping thing.
Yeah.
There's if anything, what I felt like they probably were going to desperately do, besides making it even higher, was just being look, you can buy it and then there's a tariff price on top of it,
right? And
we'll have it separate or something, because there's a lot of places that you can buy something even now when there was the tariffs, and it just says, okay, now that we know what the tariff is, this is how much it's going to be. Either you pay the tariff or we just cancel the order, type of thing.
Yeah.
That's really the only other way they could have done it that would have pleased some people.
Sure.
But it's just it was a lose-lose situation no matter what.
It's difficult because, and also Nintendo likes to keep things simple.
Yes.
They don't like this stuff to be complicated. And you know what? Here, I'm also just going to say this, that I do think that a lot of the Nintendo Switch 2 stuff is a little overpriced, but that's mostly because of my 30-year history of playing Nintendo games, and it's I don't know, there's 3 a year that I want to play, and the idea of this, it's not my primary gaming device. My primary gaming device is the one where you get to shoot people in the face and the blood and the brains come out, right?
Well, not only that, half the accessories that the Nintendo makes for these consoles, most people don't use.
Yeah.
You had bought the Ring.
Oh, the Ring Fit. Yeah.
I don't know anyone else who has one.
Yep.
And then there's the
it was the balance board back in the Wii day.
Yeah.
Wii days.
What was the name of the cardboard one?
Oh, the Labo.
The Labo.
Yeah. I bought two Labos.
The Labo happened and went. And and these are all, they keep making accessories that are just it's the way of the future that nobody uses these things. But then you just find yourself and then now we're back to the fucking wheels from Mario Kart.
Oh, right.
It's just a piece of plastic you shove your controller into.
Yep. But what I will say though is that $450 is unexpectedly high. It is not $600, right?
It's not the end of the world.
It could have been worse. And the thing is, I don't think that Nintendo would have gone that high, but $450 from $350 for the LED to $450, even though this current one has an LCD. And why, man? It's 2025. Why am I buying anything with an LCD in it? Fuck that.
I think part of it, it was to keep costs down.
$20 fucking MP3 players on Amazon have LED displays on them. I don't understand. Anyway, we gotta go back to our saga. We gotta go back to our story. So another knock-on effect of Nintendo stopping the pre-orders is they also stopped all the pre-orders in Canada. And the reason for this is because they basically didn't want Americans buying up the Canadian stock of the Switch 2 and then importing it or driving it over, smuggling it basically back into the United States.
The black market of the Nintendo Switch 2 has begun.
I'm going to drive me up to Vancouver and I'm going to get a Switch and then put it in the boot of my car and bring it through customs. Those Mounties are going to be like, did you buy a Switch? And I'll be like, no.
Sir,
no.
Switches to declare the trunk's full of them, Marge.
No. No, I didn't do anything. Can we search it? Also, no. Can we look inside that puppet, sir? No. That's my personal puppet. Only my hand goes up there.
He's my emotional support puppet. You're not allowed to pet him.
What? Sir, did I just hear a wahoo come from that puppet? No. That's me. I'm a ventriloquist. Look, wahoo. It's like that episode of, it's like the My Name is Judge from Arrested Development. Yeah. Let's go. So yeah, that happened.
What a weird timeline this is.
It so much is. But then, okay, let's take a brief little jaunt. We're almost to the end of this particular timeline, but we still got a lot left to cover.
I'm going to look up one more name I can use.
I haven't seen that many people talking about this, but so when the tariffs came in, they fucked up the stock market. You know, like I'm not saying this is right or wrong or making a judgment. I mean, personally, I think all this shit is dumb because I don't think that we're ever going to manufacture Nintendo Switches in the United States of America. Like, we'd have to build fab plants for the chips. We'd have to build all of these different, like, domestic infrastructure projects that would take 5 years to spin up and would cost like trillions. But
it would be ridiculous.
But whatever. But there were a lot of other video game companies that got hit by the fact that the stock market took a shit on itself when all this stuff was announced. First off, there was a Razer gaming laptop called the Blade 16 that was like delisted from their website over the weekend. Like, if you were looking for it on the American website, it just like it turned into a tell me when I can buy this button as opposed to a buy this right now button because it was unclear since it was a pre-order whether it was going to cost twice as much when it eventually shipped to the United States from wherever the fuck it was made. Not only that, but I thought it was worth pointing out that there was a bunch of game manufacturers that just lost money in the stock market. Their stocks just went down. Nintendo went down by 7.85%. Sony went down 10%. Capcom 6.61%. Bandai Namco is 7.37%. Square Enix is 5.62%. Sega is 7.29%. And Koei Tecmo is 5.4%. Additionally, you got a bunch of Korean companies. Nexon went down by 5%. NCSoft 7.25%. Kakao Games minus 3.79%. Some of these are just like, you know, Netmarble went down 5%. Proabyss. But the thing, and like, these are not huge. These are not like Capcom got 50% of its value lost.
It's not ridiculous.
The biggest thing with this is like an incredibly unforced error.
Yes.
Like, Capcom isn't at war. Capcom isn't fucking the United States of America when it comes to trade. They're just selling Street Fighter, man.
Yeah.
They don't even make hardware. Like, what?
Like, yeah, it's like Sony dropping the hardest makes sense because they make hardware for not just for consoles,
right?
But they make televisions, phones.
Yep.
Or I don't know if they still make phones. Cameras, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So when Eugene Belford from Hackers. That's the last name I looked up. Decided to do this. Every company just like stockholders just reacted very strangely because none of them wanted to lose money for very long. So there was a lot of people selling stuff. And
well, yeah. If the line starts going down, if the plane is falling out of the sky, you get a parachute and jump out. You don't keep riding it down to see what happens once we get to the bottom. You want to sell off as soon as you can to like not lose more money.
The only thing that bums me out during all this is that I didn't have any money to try to jump in there just before it went up.
Oh, before it went back up again. I don't know. You know, I don't know. So anyway, there was a bunch of loss at the stock market for game companies. Like, this will, and I sometimes I feel like I don't want to wait. You know, we start talking about tariffs and international trade and stuff like this. Okay, listen. This could mean that if Capcom stock doesn't rebound, it could mean that they don't have as much operating capital. It could mean that projects that they were making get canceled because they don't have as much operating capital and they have to basically tighten their belt, cut a few projects loose, fire developers, and you may not get games that you wanted. And all because of something that Capcom had nothing to do with. Like,
that's the craziest
nothing
part
to do with.
Is
so
that the gaming world is already having a hard enough time keeping their jobs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this whole thing happens, and then it's like, oh, well, this is going to be a major pain in the ass.
Yes. Okay, and then today, or this week, earlier this, I think it was yesterday,
Yeah,
as
it was
we're
like
recording
yesterday,
this, 90-day pause on all the tariffs.
So King K. Rool
Michael
decided to tell everyone that they can have the bananas.
Michael mentioned that the stock market went back up again because when you say, I'm not going to put huge tariffs on everybody, everybody's like, oh, cool, okay, money, give me back the shit that went down. I'm gonna buy that low Capcom stock and make some money when it bounces back up again, yada yada yada. Unfortunately, and the reason I'm talking about this is because we still don't know when I can order a fucking Nintendo Switch 2.
No one knows.
This motherfucker has fucked up my gaming life. Like, people will sometimes say, why do you care so much about this stuff? And it's like, because eventually the grubby little tiny hand is going to reach out and touch my life, and it did.
Yeah.
For no reason. I didn't do anything.
In unexpected ways.
Like, motherfucker. I just want a Nintendo Switch. I just want a Nintendo Switch 2 so I can show you guys what it looks like on the channel, because so anyway, we don't have any updates. There might be some soon, but oh god, we need to get through most of this stuff.
Yeah, let's just move on from here then.
There was an interview on Nintendo's website with Bill Treenan, the vice president of player and product experience at Nintendo, asking about like why everything is so goddamn expensive. We talked a little bit about that before, but let me read quote number one. We're unfortunately living in an era where I think inflation is affecting everything, and it's affecting everything from day-to-day prices, it's affecting technology and things of that nature. I think we're also seeing smart devices now. I wish they were not nearly as expensive as they were. They're certainly a lot more expensive than they were when they originally so yeah, technology costs the system, especially in this day and age, and that drives costs out. So okay, let me just paraphrase. We don't have time to go over all these quotes. You guys should go read them yourself, except for the one that I'm going to focus on because it's the funniest goddamn thing that's happened this week.
Yeah.
Nintendo's attitude with this is you're like, why is Mario Kart so expensive? And Nintendo's like, dude, you haven't even played it.
You don't even know, dude.
You don't even know how good this Mario Kart is. You don't even know how fucking good it is. Like, you've only seen what we've shown you, but like, you haven't seen what we haven't shown you. You're gonna just be sitting there coming the entire time you play this game. And I'm like, I highly doubt that, Nintendo. It's a fucking Mario Kart game. The only thing that makes any sense to me, Michael, is if there's a feature of that game where you can stop the cart and get out and play Mario levels, and it turns out it's a stealth actual Mario game.
That would be so funny.
Like, that might convince me that $80 is acceptable, but right now, nah. And then we already went over like their answer for a lot of the hardware stuff was like, wow, I had to pack all this advanced hardware in. There was also a news story where, I mean, I think we kind of knew this, but it's NVIDIA chips in the Switch. It's DLSS. It's basically using the same kind of upsampling that we're seeing with a lot of cards. So, yes, that is another thing that we got confirmation of. Let's see. Now, this is the one. I don't know if you know about this one. So this is bullshit. Or maybe it's slight bullshit. Because the thing is that Nintendo is selling a Nintendo Switch 2 in Japan for $350.
Oh no, we had this discussion. Yeah.
It is a Duolingo called them out as an ad for their language service where they're like, gamers learn Japanese to save $133. So for about $341, you can get the Japanese only Nintendo Switch. Only sold in Japan. It only has one language feature on it.
It's like region locked, basically.
Yep. And you can only log into it if you have a Japanese account.
So I had this discussion with you when they announced this, which is that my favorite thing is that people are thinking one of the reasons they're doing this is because they're tired of scalpers fucking over their home base.
Yep.
And they want people in Japan to be able to actually own a Switch 2.
Sure.
And this will also keep people from flying to Japan solely to buy a Switch 2 as well.
Yep.
Because of the fact that it's cheaper. And I think that is the weirdest version of a DRM I've ever seen.
What's weird is that they literally have a SKU in Japan for a multi-language system, and that is $477.
Yeah, it's more than as if you got it here.
Yes,
which I find fucking fascinating.
And the thing is that like what irritates me about this is, yes, you are probably right. This is a subsidy to Japan. This is a Japanese company doing some of that nationalist bullshit. They want people in Japan. Japan's their biggest market. They want everybody in Japan to buy a Switch 2. They're like, we will eat some of this cost. Also, it probably is a lot cheaper for them to put them out in Japan. They're located in Japan. Yeah. They're on the other side of. They don't have an ocean to go over to get like the shit on shelves.
Yeah.
But it does. It does throw a little bit of cold water on this whole like. Well, I mean, we had to make it that expensive because of how advanced it is. And it's like, why do those guys get it for $100 less? Like, don't talk about those guys. That's it. Just don't worry about those guys. Those guys have their own thing going on.
It just reminds me of that Family Guy joke when the guy sees Neil Armstrong on them. And he's not on the moon because they're faking the moon landing. And, Neil Armstrong, I just saw you on the moon. Well, you know, solar winds. Just smacks him with the head or runs. It's just what it is. Like Japan generally, not Japan, Nintendo generally is just like, we're just nickel and diming you as much as we can.
Yep.
But not overdoing it because this isn't like the PS3 when it came out.
Right.
And just like, you know, fucked over themselves as hard as they could.
$600 was a lot more money back then.
A lot more money back then. So, yeah.
They also had similar shit to say about, as far as the pricing goes, they had similar shit to say about the $10 for the fucking Welcome Center fucking Astrobot
That one is outright
thing.
bullshit, though.
Like, and they're just like, well, we think it's fair. We think the people want to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. And, you know, we're kind of coming towards the end of this. There's a few things that we've got a lightning round our way through. Oh, wait. But before we do that,
yeah,
Doug fucking Bowser. I put this one at the last minute, which is why it wasn't in the right place. Doug fucking Bowser said, basically, we already have. Oh, okay. Let me read his words. I don't want to
read his words, and then we'll read what we're referencing.
Let's see. Wait, where are his words? Where are his specific words? Speaking of Doug Bowser, lofty price. Oh, okay. I don't think okay. Quote, we recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available. So this is basically just a reconfiguration of the quote that started this podcast.
Yes.
For the first 2 years of RageSelect.
The Don Matrick Memorial Podcast.
This is some Don Matrick bullshit. This is, if you can't afford a Switch 2, hey, we still have perfectly functional Switch 1 sitting over here in the warehouse that you can buy. Fuck off, Doug. Eat my balls.
It's such a tone-deaf thing to say.
Yep.
In a world where inflation is constantly going up, people are finding ways of cutting costs of their life. It's such a fun way of being just don't buy from us for a while.
Yep.
Kind of thing. And I find that fascinating. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
We'll see if it works out for him.
I hope to God it pays off the way it did.
Yeah.
At least a little bit, because that would be really funny.
Because Nintendo's been sucking up to us for 10 years trying to come back from that. They were number one, man. The 360 fucking ruled this place.
Yep, that's all fucked from here on.
But the question the thing I would like to come to at the end of this that I've always had in my mind is they can make whatever, you can say whatever you want. We spent $500 billion making this new Mario Kart. We have to price it $80 to get our money back. Well, that's fine. Nobody made you spend that much money developing this.
Yeah.
If the market will accept $80 for Mario Kart, then by all means. If gamers can't help themselves and all the moms want Mario Kart and all the kids want Mario Kart is Game of the Year of 2025, then okay. But I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be an okay game, but I just don't think it's going to be actually worth $80. $80 is not a small amount of money. $60 isn't a small amount of money.
No.
So if you guys think that you can get away with charging all this money for all this bullshit, that's your business. But there does come a certain point in time where I look at the $700 PS5 that I already have and go, nah, that's okay, man. Yeah. You can fucking keep your banana game. You can keep your fucking Astrobot, $10 Astrobot game and your shitty Discord and all that stuff. Like, we already, last time you were here, we talked about how only 8% of gamers in 2024 played a game that came out in 2024. One game that came out in 2024. We're living in a world where people are more than content to continue to play Minecraft, to continue to play Fortnite, to continue to play Counter-Strike, to continue to play the games they already have. So the idea that you're going to be like fucking, you know, oh, you want Nintendo Switch 2, bend over and pull them down, bitch. Like, some people are just going to walk away. And it is worth pointing out, Michael, that this Nintendo does not always succeed.
No.
The Wii U was a failure. Like,
it was a massive failure.
The GameCube, much beloved, didn't hold a candle to the PS2, man.
A lot of people don't understand the GameCube did not do well.
Yes.
Iwata took a massive pay cut to keep
I've never even heard them talk about the 3DS sales being especially, like, it was fine. But
no, the 3DS
wasn't...
actually did really well.
Oh, okay. All
it's
right.
it's because Japan loves handhelds.
Oh,
is
yeah.
one of the reasons for that. But the one that that's not the only ones. If you go further back, the Virtual Boy is their biggest failure.
Yep.
And it's because Nintendo doesn't everything they touch doesn't immediately turn to gold.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see what will happen here. And here's the thing we haven't talked about at all about the $80 Mario Kart. We don't even know if there's going to be like a DLC pack or anything.
Right.
For it's going to go from 80 and then to like maybe to like usually everything's like 20, so it's going to be like another 110. It's just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pretend that like games don't do this. Like fighting games are notorious for it.
Yeah.
Like I've spent so much money on Dragon Ball FighterZ when it came out.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably going to do it's kind of the same with Street Fighter 6. But you kind of know that going into them.
Yeah.
Nintendo has been such a wild card when it comes to DLC.
Well, and they don't, and as we talked about, they don't lower the price.
No.
All games depreciate over time. A 10-year-old game is not worth the same amount as it was when it came out, except if it's a Nintendo game. It's like we likened it to a Disney Vault thing, where it's like, like these things depreciate. These experiences do not remain as fresh as they were the day they came out. There's like a FOMO and whatnot, and you know they put this shit on sale like 10% off on Mario Day, and it's like, no, dude, Mario Odyssey should cost $20 on any random weekday. It is a 10-year-old video game. Nobody's out here spending $60 on 10-year-old video games. You try to do that, as Square Enix, people spit in your face and tell you to go fuck yourself.
No.
Like, but Nintendo gets away with this bullshit, and I wouldn't have as much of a problem with even the $80 price tag if I knew that they were going to start being more reasonable and being like 3 years after it comes out, you're going to be able to buy Mario Kart World for $30 on a sale. But it just doesn't seem to be the way that we're going. Okay.
We can talk about the Switch literally all day.
We might have to, because we're out of time for this part. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to lightning round our way through the rest of these. And also there's like fucking 60 other news stories, but we're going to maybe have a lot of lightning. Put your raincoats on and stick around. And we're back. And Michael, I know it looks like a lot of tabs, but I think there's actually less news than I thought. Like I think we're gonna be okay. Everybody, I think we're gonna be okay.
Everybody fucking chill.
You might have to. You can take off your raincoat for now. We still might have to lightning through the end of this, but like I think we're good for now. So, let's finish up talking about the Switch because we have some more Switch 2 stuff to go. Let's see.
I was waiting for you to snap like it was a Nintendo Direct.
One of the things that we learned this week is that that C button for chatting, Michael. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online for that shit.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you got to have a Nintendo Switch Online account and subscription for that.
Jeff, you got to pay the troll toll.
if you want to get into that C button. No,
you know, this is something I expected.
Yep.
Because Nintendo doesn't know how to do
online.
They haven't known how to do online forever.
That's true.
So them making a dedicated button that you have to pay for is only the thing Nintendo would do. Hear me out, guys. It's not like the Xbox and PlayStation that doesn't have features that you can't do without paying for it, but they're not dedicated buttons on your controller.
Yes. And then apparently I think that this is the thing that I read in the article. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online and you hit that C button at any point in time, it's just going to open up the page for you to sign up for Nintendo Switch Online.
That's horrifying. That's horrifying. By the
it's
way.
right by the home button, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Let me make it something else. Something. Anyway, yeah. As somebody who doesn't want to use that bullshit at all, that irritates me. But when have I not been irritated when talking about the Switch 2 today? So
we're just online Nintendo stuff.
Let's see. Also, there are a few. This is a small one, but right out of the box, there are a couple of things that the Switch 2 will not be able to do at launch. And it's a little strange what they are. The first is that the 3D audio that they touted will work for your TV and headphones, but not out of the speakers in the Switch until there is an update.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yes. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, Michael. I just don't know why that is.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I generally don't know what to say to that.
You know what the other one that's really interesting
What's
is?
that?
You know how it supports micro SD express cards? Those won't work until there's an update. So
really?
Like regular micro SD cards will work, but like micro SD express cards will not be functional until a system update is performed when you open the box.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird that stuff isn't coming prepackaged. I don't know.
Sure, I guess.
I mean,
I'm just happy they have that option in general.
Yeah.
Like it's because Nintendo consoles are real bad with their storage.
Yeah. Very true.
Like I had to buy a micro SD for my girlfriend because I saw she didn't have one.
Yeah.
And I was horrified.
You're like, this is only 4 gigs, man.
I was like,
That ain't shit.
I was like, what's happening here? Like you have 3 games on here. This is horrible. I have like 1,000 on mine.
Do you know how much these cost? Nothing.
Yeah.
They cost nothing.
I got her like a 400 gig one or some shit for like $20 or something.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Let's see. We also found out that the Nintendo Switch 2 game sticks, the analog
Joy-Cons?
sticks, yes, are going to be the same. They're not using Hall Effect.
What is Hall Effect, by the way?
Okay,
I
so
keep hearing this term everywhere. It sounds like a cough drop.
As I understand it, the thing is, I've actually had to open up a Switch controller to fix the drift. So on a standard analog stick controller, you're literally moving 2 like mechanical like hinges, right?
Yeah.
So you're moving one into the vertical and one in the horizontal, and it takes the 2 and it goes. What happens is over time, dirt and stuff will get worked down into there, and those hinges will stop going back and forth, and that's what causes Joy-Con drift. Is that there's a little bit of push, and so when you go to a 0 position, it still is pushed a little bit in one direction, and it causes the drift, right? You can fix that if you have a screwdriver and this like electrical conductive spray that I bought. I did it. It took like 40 minutes. It was fine. But Hall Effect, as I understand it, is a thing where instead of those mechanical things, there's like a pole that comes down from the middle of the stick, and then there's like a cylinder that has like a magnetic field, and what it does is it actually measures how close that pole is to each part of the cylinder.
That's
so
interesting.
it doesn't have that same, like, it still has mechanics to keep it like where it is, but the actual positioning of the stick is based on that internal thing. A lot of modern third-party controllers have Hall Effect sticks on them. So
Nintendo, that's weird that Nintendo would. Okay, yeah.
With all the Joy-Con drift shit that they've had, it's weird
and stuff.
Also, the fact that like the new Joy-Cons are like $90 or something
They're
for like
very
another pair.
expensive,
Like they're not cheap. So I don't know. Hopefully they figured something out, but who knows? This is kind of fun. There is so if you don't want to buy the $50 Switch camera, Hori, the like peripherals company, is selling a big plastic piranha plant camera.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's like $25. It's like half the price or something. Yeah. And it's kind of cool. It's got a few things that are really cool. Here's the things that I like about it.
Okay.
The camera's in the piranha plant's mouth, and if you want to like privacy, you just close the piranha plant's mouth, and it blocks the camera. Also, the piranha plant has a little neck that goes into a stand, but that neck has a USB-C thing on the end of it, so you can literally take it out and put it on the top of the Switch 2 on the upper C port.
That's really cool.
And it'll just stick out of the top and point at you. However, it is a 480p camera.
That's disgusting, Jeff.
It is a 480p.
I will throw that into a fire immediately now.
There was a lot of people online who were just like, how did you even make who's manufacturing 480p cameras?
Did they find them in a dumpster?
Yeah.
Like, where the
fuck have you done?
How?
So
they must have got them from like Five Below or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, if you don't want to spend $50 on the camera, ending $40 a year or whatever on your Nintendo Switch subscription, I guess you could cut your costs a little bit by buying this horrible thing. And you know what?
It's for kids, I guess, at that point.
I guess it is. And the thing that irritates me about this is, like, I think I'd rather have this than the dumb fucking Logitech like stick camera that the Nintendo is selling.
Yeah,
because that's cool. Like, I like having a piranha plant sitting there and watching me.
If anything, it makes you want to just fuck with it to try to make a better camera inside of it.
Right. If you just sold a 1080p version, I might be interested.
I would buy that sucker immediately, actually. Or something similar to it. I'm sure you could use it for other camera-related things.
True. Yeah. How do you even make a 480p camera in 2025?
I love that. That must be harder to do than a 1080.
Yeah. Isn't 480p a crime nowadays? These are comments from people talking about it. So
I don't know how they did that still.
We also got the news from Nintendo Switch 2 that whatever that horrible bitterant is that they put on Nintendo Switch cartridges, that will be on Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges.
Okay.
So apparently they're designed to be so fucking foul tasting that if a little kid puts it in their mouth, they're going to go bah and not try to swallow it.
Didn't Grant lick one once?
He did, but he didn't put it all the way in his mouth. He just kind of licked it. He licked 1-2 Switch.
Okay.
And I've never touched it again. Actually, I think I might have loaned it to somebody and then I forgot where it went. But
and then you were just like, it's their problem now.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's fine. That's great, I guess. That you're still designed not to be licked. Let's see. From there, we're gonna branch out to some other stuff. We found out, last week we found out that some of the Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to be the cards will not have game data on them. They will just have an unlock code, and they'll basically be DRM. So you put the cartridge in, it has to download the entire game from the internet, and then you have to have the cartridge in order to play it as a checking feature. I mean, technically speaking, they said that, this means that, like, you can still sell the game, because it's basically a license for the game. Yeah. So you can still sell I can hand you the cartridge and you can go home and put it in your Switch 2 and play it.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not like the EA bullshit or like the Xbox One stuff.
Yeah. Which is like the one thing is that it's not going to kill the used game market.
Yes.
Necessarily.
But it is also a big problem for people who want the game to be on the card.
Yes.
So that I don't have to connect to the internet to play the video game.
Well, it's a preservation error issue.
Yes.
Is more than than anything else it is. Because I know with PlayStation games and stuff, they still download all the data from the disc into the console,
right?
But it's still on there.
But it's on there.
At least the game, enough of what you need to play a game.
Yeah.
Because everything nowadays has a day one patch here and there.
Sure.
Where Nintendo games for a while, this isn't even like the first time this has happened. It's just that Nintendo games that had that issue beforehand were usually multi-pack ones.
Right.
Well, a good example of that is the Arkham Knight or the Arkham trilogy. If the cartridge had Arkham Asylum on it, but you had to download City and Night.
Oh yeah, Bayonetta was like that, right? Bayonetta 2. There was a code for Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, exactly. And so there was so it's not unheard of necessarily, but they had a game on it at some point.
Yeah.
But this is just very strange to me.
Yeah.
But it also makes me wonder how those cartridges will be hard to, I don't know, copy?
Are you telling me that somebody's going to crack one of those things open and then put a programmable SD card slot on the back of it and then just start putting in like jailbroken keys, allowing you to play whatever the fuck you want?
Perhaps.
What? That's crazy talk. That's an insanity. That's a crazy talk. Yes. We also found out that apparently Elden Ring, the Elden Ring version for Nintendo Switch 2, is going to be one of those because it was listed on the Play Asia store. The one thing I will say, I said this last week, is that they are very clearly marked. They have a big like strip on the bottom that says like, this is not a, this game contains a code, the blah, 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 blah. So they're not like trying to kind of bait and switch. But apparently also the Mario Party one. Here's some more. Street Fighter 6 and Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD require further downloads. Strangely enough, Cyberpunk 2077 apparently does not.
That's
it's
weird.
Like 60 gigs on a card.
That's very strange.
Yeah, but then also that new Mario Party plus blah 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 plus whatever bullshit is going to be another one of those.
Jamboree plus my thing. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of. It's really strange. It's the one thing that really bothers me about the Switch 2 is the fact that I am a physical collector usually.
Yeah,
and the idea that I don't even have a game on that is very. I don't know. It's an icky feeling.
Did you bought a fucking drive for your PS5 Pro?
I do have a drive for my PS5 Pro.
Yeah,
because when I got my PS5 Pro. I had to make sure that I had to remember that the majority of my PS5 games are physical.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm ordering a physical copy of Indiana Jones so I can have that as well. And so the idea, if you see even my Switch library is like really, really long because they're all physical games. Which in hindsight that means it'll work on the Switch too, which is good for me. But there's so many people I know that are just like, I would rather it only be digital anyways. So this isn't going to affect them, but everybody who's kind of like me, this is going to be a weird choice for later down the line.
What you end up with, if you have any care whatsoever about game preservation, is that it's like, okay, well now we have to pirate this shit. Right, like if the version of Elden Ring on the Switch 2 has something that's different, and you want to save it for posterity, somebody's going to have to rip that shit out of a Nintendo Switch 2 in order to save it, because otherwise, if Nintendo ever shuts down their online services, go fuck yourself.
It's all gone.
So that happened a lot with DSiWare, like a lot of those games.
The DSiWare games were like considered lost for a very long time. Like which one was it? The Four Swords was a DSiWare game, and when the DSiWare stuff shut down, it was considered lost media for a very long time until they finally put it out again on something. I think it was. I want to say it was the Switch.
There's
again.
A lot of 360 arcade games that just kind of went away.
They're just gone. Yeah. And there's some that like you can't buy again. Even when you play them on your 360 that has them, they don't even have the fucking image for them anymore.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, because I have the Marvel vs. Capcom Origins stuff, which was just Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have an image when you go to play the game.
God.
Like it's just fucking ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Let's see. In other Elden Ring news, there was a big interview with Miyazaki about the Dusk Bloods, talking about like what it is and what it isn't, and kind of what everything that's going on with it. Vati Vijaya has a big kind of wrap-up video about this, but I'll kind of go on some of it's like 10 things maybe that we learned. So apparently, Duskbloods originally was supposed to be a Switch game.
Like an original Switch game?
Yep, and they came to Nintendo with this like very loose idea, and Nintendo was like, yeah, start working on it. We're interested. And then they called them up like a little bit in development, and they were like, hey, actually, how would you like to make this for this other thing? And they were like, yeah, sounds great.
That probably helped them immensely when they're like, oh, the scope on this probably isn't going to be as big until that happened.
Apparently, there was a whole quote from Miyazaki. I actually want to read it because, like, between this and Night Rain, I think people are like, "Okay, FromSoft, what the fuck is going on? Like, you're my favorite single-player company, and you're putting out 2 multiplayer games."
It's a very strange thing to do.
Where they basically said he basically came out and was like. No, we are committed to making single-player games. This is just, these are 2 projects that kind of happen to like line up in a way, but that we are not shifting our focus onto multiplayer only type of stuff.
Don't panic. We're doing something here.
Yes.
Let us cook.
Apparently, there's like multiple time periods in the game,
Oh,
which is
that's
kind of what you see.
interesting.
Like, there's like a big kind of train in the trailer that didn't necessarily match the rest of like this kind of Victorian Gothic aesthetic that was in there. The whole game takes place at the quote unquote twilight of humanity. So it's like the age of humanity is coming to an end, and you've got these kind of characters that are there doing battle like towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's got like double jumps and super sprints and all kinds of crazy doing stuff. Instead of classes, you're basically doing like a kind of a hero thing. So it sounds a little bit more involved than Night Rain, where you can kind of customize the individual character that you're using and kit them out a little bit differently. Apparently, it's also not just a straight PvP match. Like, there are goals and objectives on the maps, and that at the end of the round, whoever has the most victory points, not necessarily kills, wins the round. Which also goes into something that I think is kind of interesting, where like, when you go into the game, like, you will be assigned like an objective, so everybody it's not just like kill, like it's like,
Yeah, it gives you a reason to not like try to run into somebody else.
Right.
Like you might accidentally run into them, but not because you're going to the same place.
right, which is weird. I don't know, sometimes when games say stuff like this, I'm like, well, in theory, there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you play the game, everybody just ends up fucking killing each other. And
Well, that's the thing. We've played enough Overwatch and Marvel Rivals to know that if you put an objective in front of somebody and it might have a giant sign that says, please come here, and a person telling you over and over again, most people don't even care about that.
Yes. They're just like, ah!
I will murder you all.
There is a story, but it looks like they're falling back a little bit to mostly having the story being told through, like, gear description as opposed to like NPCs and stuff like that.
I can't wait for the many YouTube videos about how this story played out. From the many descriptions.
And then there's like summons, there's big NPC bosses, and then there was some interesting stuff in there about like the different customization of roles. Like they talked about like having a destined rival, where it's like your job is to kill one other person, not like everybody. I don't know. It was interesting. I recommend everybody go watch that Vatividya thing. The one that was also kind of interesting was I don't know if you remember in the trailer at the end there was like a winged rat. It was like a big winged rat. Apparently, Nintendo was like, hey, we don't want to tell you guys what to do, but like you are making a Switch game. Why don't you put something cute in the game? And Miyazaki was like, okay. A giant rat with wings like talks to you and sounds like an old British man. And they were like, I guess?
They're like, don't say anything else. I'm afraid what they'll do next.
I think Miyazaki is like, I know what side the bread is buttered on for FromSoft fans. Like, put a big winged rat in there. They'll love it.
I'm just picturing Miyamoto standing there going, like, staring at him. He's like, isn't it adorable? He's putting in front of Miyamoto. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
You know, for kids.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more information that came out about Dust Bloods. That one was probably the weirdest announcement to me in the entire Nintendo thing, where I was just like, Bloodborne 2? It's not Bloodborne 2? Like, this would be less confusing if it was Bloodborne 2.
Yeah, we were all very excited because we didn't know what it was, but we also knew it was from FromSoft.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, this could be really, really cool. And then the second we heard it was a multiplayer game right after that, we're like, well, now I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the FromSoft will be the ones to finally get me into multiplayer. Probably not.
Yeah,
not,
but you have to, buy it. But you're going to buy it because of the channel. But in real life, you probably would not have.
I don't know. I'm kind of, FromSoft has become the new like Hideo Kojima, right? Where it's like, I probably would. Like, part of my rationale for buying a PSVR was to play Deracine, and then I didn't.
Did you not? Okay.
But
you should try it eventually.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, I would on my PSVR 2 on my PS5, but PSVR 1 games don't just upgrade to PSVR 2 games.
That's true.
They're still PSVR 1 games. Like, some bullshit.
Don't you have phones? I'm just kidding.
You guys have phones, right? Let's see. We also found out that Hades 2 is going to be a Nintendo Switch console exclusive.
Well, that's what happened with the first one.
Well, I think that in the first one, it came out first on the Switch, but it was just, I don't think it necessarily was like announced that way. It was like kind of when the Switch was just getting indies all over the place. But
Well, I remember it coming out on that, and then there'd be like, it's going to come on everything else, but it's not going to be for like a good while.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't for like another year or something like that.
there was a little bit of a question because that was kind of all they said, or what they said was Hades 2 is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive. And everybody was like, oh, okay. Does that mean it's not going to be on the Switch 1? Does that mean it's going to be like that the PC version isn't going to go into 1.0 on the same day that the Switch 2 version comes out? And no, they emailed Greg Kasavin, and he was like, no, it's going to be on the Switch 1 and Switch 2 and the PC all on the same day. Okay. It's just not going to be on the other two consoles. It's got a period of exclusivity where it's not going to be on those consoles. So.
Okay, so it's just it's like the way Final Fantasy was on the PS5, I guess.
Yes.
So I give it like a year or two probably, which is fine because Hades is a great series.
And probably that exclusivity got them funds to be able to get over the finish line and like do more development and stuff. So
it's usually nowadays when something becomes exclusive, that's the reason for it.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what happened with Street Fighter V. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Final Fantasy games.
Yep.
Like they want people to scratch their backs, so they'll scratch each other's backs.
Yep. Got to pay for that shit. Let's see. Silk Song got some new screenshots because of that Switch 2 announcement. And I'm starting to wonder if Switch 2 fans might actually they might hold the record right now as craziest ones.
Are you talking about Silk Song fans?
Silk Song fans. What did I say?
You said Switch 2.
Yeah, no. Silk Song fans.
There's dozens of them,
Yes. Because, Grand Theft Auto has been announced and has a tentative release date.
Yeah.
There isn't a Smash Brothers for people to salivate over. I think the Half-Life 3 crowd is just kind of dormant right now. There's no signs, right?
Oh, they have jobs now.
Yeah. So there was like a series of screenshots that came out where you could see like, oh, Michael, look. So this is the old one, right? And oh, this is the new one.
Oh, wow. That is a lot different.
It's a little different. Well,
that one guy is a lot different. The background's different.
Yeah.
Although somehow the background's less detailed.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, we're talking about very slim differences between the two.
The Silk Song was announced it was announced so long ago.
Yep.
That when I was writing my gaming articles, I was once asked if they wanted us to preview it whenever it was supposed to come out.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, that would be very exciting. And then I left, before that ever happened.
Yeah.
And then I realized, that never was going to happen while I was there.
Right.
Because it's just, we'd not seen anything about that game in a very long time.
Yeah. I don't entirely understand why.
I don't know. I don't either.
Because it doesn't, I mean, like, I look at these screenshots, they're very nice and everything, but like, not like it's been delayed for 7 years nice. I
remember one of the things when it was coming out was it was part of that Xbox thing where it's like all these games are going to come out
right
before the year's done or something. Yep. And it was part of it originally, and so people were very excited. And it just didn't. And with no word as to why.
Yep.
And I'm just confused as to how that keeps happening.
Entire game franchises have risen and fallen since the announcement of Silk Song.
Yeah.
So
it's insane.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, speaking of Microsoft, Microsoft has announced they're going to have a big showcase. So we're getting like the announcements right now that like Summer Games Fest is coming back, and Microsoft has announced that they're basically doing their big presentation. They've got their Sunday slot, the Sunday before Summer Games Fest starts, so it's going to be June 8th. They're going to have. They haven't really talked much about what all is going to be in there, but they did say they're going to have like an hour-long like post-show focus on the Outer Worlds 2.
Oh, that's
I guess they're pushing the Outer Worlds 2 real hard because that's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah. I know last year they did Elder Scrolls Online for like an hour right after that.
Yes.
So I guess what they're pushing, they're going to do right after that thing.
Or did they do... Was the year before, did they do Starfield? Was that when we had an hour of Starfield?
Yeah, we had an hour of Starfield.
Yeah.
And all this reminds me of is the fact that the year E3 died was really funny. Because Xbox was like, we believe in E3, but not enough to be there. And that's like kind of part of what killed it, because they were the last like big of the three that were supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, nah, bro, we're going to do our own shit over here. and E3 was just dead.
Well,
And
one of the
I was
things
supposed to go that year too.
one of the things that's interesting about this is it's this year it is moving for the first time to just digital only. So they're not going to have the big crowd out in front to clap and cheer.
That's so weird.
When they announce Elder Scrolls Online updates.
They won't have a bunch of people there being like, "Do you like Elder Scrolls?" and everyone losing their goddamn mind.
Woo! One guy is going woo,
and they don't have to worry about like bringing Keanu Reeves on stage or something like that.
Yep. Or a car.
Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Kennedy.
Yep.
We all know how that turned out.
Currently, like the roster that we have is Fable, Gears of War E-Day, State of Decay 3, next Call of Duty, maybe Starfield, maybe Elder Scrolls. But
I want to know more about Fable, guys. Come on, we need some shit. My girlfriend's very excited too because she loves Fable. And I really liked Fable 2 a lot. So
the one that's inexplicable to me always in this whole list is they just keep putting out, like, they keep teasing a new State of Decay game, and I'm like, but why? Like, I know some people really like that game, but like I don't think a lot of people really like that game. I think a few people really like that game, but it's not as popular as I don't know.
Well, what cracks me up is every time there's a new trailer, I keep expecting it to be a different game, and then it's State of Decay, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's some good Microsoft news. The bad Microsoft news, Michael, I don't know. Did you see this bullshit?
I know.
So Microsoft has created an AI-generated replica of Quake 2 that you can play in a browser. The whole thing is being generated. Like, it's not, there is nothing there. And it looks like a real shit-ass version of Quake 2 that runs at like 15 frames per second. Also, you can't see anything. Also, on they have a browser where you can play it for like 2 minutes or like 5 minutes or something like that. And there's no mouse support for it, so you've got to use like the arrow keys to aim and then the WASD to move around. And I don't think it has sound either.
I doubt it. And also, it looks like a fever dream.
It looks like a horrible nightmare.
Yeah, because like as they move, the worlds get like it looks like the Take On Me video.
Yeah,
if that makes sense to people. The way like everything's squiggly.
Yep.
But it's still in color. That's the other thing. But everything is like that. Like every time they move, the whole world just fucking transforms into like it. Like again, it feels like a waking nightmare.
Yes. When I played it, like this person isn't doing it, but I kept doing where I would move forward and I would look at something and then I would turn, look at the wall, and I would spin back around and look at what was behind me, and it was different. It was something that wasn't there before.
Oh god!
And it was like, and everybody's like, oh, this is just the beginning. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when you can just fucking type in whatever you want and gets kind of AI generated world? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. Fuck that. That sounds horrible.
Not
like,
only that, it would not work the way you think it's going to.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost so much money to run that little game.
Ooh, yes.
It would fucking kill whole ecosystems.
Can I? Oh, that's just like a YouTube video. I was going to see if I could like.
I'll bring it up.
I was see if I could bring it up, but I can't find the link for it. Oh wait,
is it on Jeff Keighley's thing?
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's
Are
really,
you 18, Jeff? You got to tell me if you're 18.
It's like it's very janky.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's see if we can keep. Oh, I'm getting shot. Yeah, it's no good. It's not interesting. Like, oh, okay, it's somewhat interesting.
Well, it's interesting in the idea of like what would happen if you gave a monkey a gun,
right?
Type of thing.
Right.
It's interesting, but it's a horrifying idea.
Yeah. Oops, stuff's changing around. Whoop, whoop.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking away because it's just grossing me out. I feel like
Where did all those come from? Where did all these things that aren't even things come from?
I feel like I'm looking into the event horizon.
Yeah, as a horror game, be kind of interesting.
Oh no, actually, that would be the only thing that would be good for as a horror game.
Resident Evil 9 level that's all AI generated. And it looks horrible.
You would never be able to make a guide for it though.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to find the wall that might look like a wall, baby. I don't know. It changes sometimes.
Okay, so now put your raincoats back on. We got a few things. We got a lot of drama that's happening.
I heard about this. I don't really understand it very well.
So, Drug Dealer Simulator is a game on Steam, and the developer of it, or I think actually the publisher of it, had to announce, because it's like a Polish developer, to like the Polish stock market, that they were basically doing an investigation into Schedule 1 to see if Schedule 1 had like used any concepts or assets that could be considered trademark infringement or copyright infringement. Because this was a public filing, that then got back to the internet, and the internet took this as like, you're trying to shut down Schedule 1. You don't own the rights to be in a drug dealer simulator. People can make drug dealer games if they want, and they started brigading the score on Drug Dealer Simulator and downvoting it to the point where on their Steam page now, Drug Dealer Simulator just has like a big. They just have like a big thing that says like, we are regarding Schedule 1 : there is no lawsuit. Like,
believe us me,
in all caps.
I want to have no fights with you.
With the implied thing being like, dude, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We had to look into this. Like, our publisher made us do this kind of thing.
Yeah, because apparently Schedule 1's like really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I had to uninstall it.
People were worried about it.
Last time I heard, they went from mostly positive to mixed, but now they're to overwhelmingly negative.
Those poor bastards.
Oh boy.
Oh well.
I mean, yeah.
You win some, you lose some, guys.
The thing is that like Drug Dealer Simulator actually is like has a named developer and like a named publisher, and like Schedule 1 is like, it's what like TVGS, Tyler's Video Game Studio. It's like one dude that made his fucking Rick and Morty like drug simulator in his bedroom. So it literally could be more of an underdog story, even if you tried.
And he's put a lot of work into it apparently, and people are very excited for it.
Yep. Path of Exile 2 had to come out and apologize because they put out a new class and a bunch of updates to the game. I think I actually even talked about it a little bit in the trailer section last week. They basically, the quote from the director is, there were some blatant fuck-ups, speaking bluntly.
Oh my goodness.
So apparently what happened here was that Path of Exile 2 developers were like, we're going to make some really aggressive changes here, and then like if people don't like those changes, we will roll them back. Like that was their idea, was we are going to really like, we're going to do some hard tuning on the game to try to make it a little bit more, to slow players down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll pull it back until people are happy. But I think they didn't realize that like this is 2025 and it's the internet, and if you just like make a really dramatic change to a game, like they're going to storm the development studio with pitchforks and torches and shit. Like,
yeah, you don't fuck around with the internet nowadays. You can say just the most like innocent thing and they're going to lose their minds over it. So don't overly change something or else they will have heart attacks.
Yes. Like, here's another quote. A lot of it is just early access, so it's allowed, but like we're just firing from the hip a lot here. Like, let's just get in there, so see what people think, and if it's bad, we'll just undo it. So they're currently undoing it, backing things up. Also, the new class is apparently kind of a bummer because it relies on like parrying way too much. So if you don't parry, like it doesn't work very well, and people are like, I can't do that. Like, so they feel like they're kind of like locked out of that stuff. Man, Minecraft, get your fucking McDonald's commercials out of my websites.
A lot of them, yeah. I didn't even know they were doing a McDonald's Minecraft, but it makes sense.
My favorite quote from this was like somebody who was like, at this point, when they were like, at this point, it's so not fun that I'd rather just go to work. Like,
that's horrible.
Yeah.
You guys fucked that up bad if that's the case.
Yes. So hopefully they'll get things back under control. Speaking of big fuck ups, apparently YouTube did a big change to their like terms of service and their site rules to try to cut down on gambling, and you'll never guess what game got slammed in the ass by that change.
I heard about this actually.
It's Balatro.
That poor bastard.
Yeah, Balatro got all of the Balatro videos on YouTube got, well, not all of them because I didn't get a notice. Mine didn't. But apparently a lot of them got age gated because of gambling. And Local Thunk, doing what Local Thunk does, went on Twitter and just posted a tweet that very succinctly was like, apparently Balatro videos are being rated 18 plus on at YouTube now for gambling. Good thing we're protecting children from knowing what a 4 of a kind is and letting them watch CSK's opening videos instead.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
At which point the YouTube team basically thanked them for flagging it and then like reversed course, and that shit is all taken care of. But like this poor guy, it's just like, yeah, there's no gambling in this game. You don't bet anything.
Yeah, there's no money. Like, you're just fucking around.
Yep.
Those poor bastards. Because you just got your cards in, too.
Oh, yeah. I got physical Balatro cards.
Yeah, Jeff, the second you open it, the cops are going to jump you and be like, gambling.
Gambling. Jay's gambling. Get in there. He's running a speakeasy out of his place. Yeah, that's why I haven't broken the seal on the package yet.
He's just worried about what happened.
I mean, $15 for a pack of novelty cards. Hey, why not? Like, that's fine.
It's not bad. They're probably sold out by now, too.
Yeah. This is an interesting story. So I didn't know this, but apparently back in 2012, the two guys from Andromeda ran a Kickstarter for a new Space Quest game called
I forgot about that.
Space Venture. And it was supposed to be out a long time ago. And apparently it just got like delayed after delayed after delayed. Apparently those the two guys from Andromeda, they fucking hate each other, but they came back together in order
to make a game.
Like because they only made like $500K on Kickstarter. Like it was a very low Kickstarter. And yeah, there was a certain point where the backers got early access to the game. It was fucking terrible.
Oh God.
And I say all this because you can now buy this game on Steam in early access. They put it out on April 1st.
Oh God.
For $15, and it looks really not good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
my goodness, Jeff.
It looks real not good.
How did this happen?
I don't know, but it looks really not good.
It looks like a game that somebody made up in an Adult Swim show.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Apparently there are no resolution options in the game.
You can't like finish the game?
Well, no. There's no like, what resolution would you like this game to run at? Would you like to run full screen or borderless or like in a window? And it's a Unity game. Like, that stuff's in there. Apparently, there's no menu. If you hit the escape button, it just asks if you want to quit to desktop, yes or no, and that's it. And when asked about that, the developer said they would look into it. I'm like, look into it? Look into it? It's 2025.
How is this real?
I don't know. But the idea though, that this was kickstarted way back.
This is so sad.
Way back in 2012. 2012. That's like when RageSelect started.
Yeah.
And it's now in early access in 2025.
Fucking hell.
Like, whew.
That was horrifying to look at.
Yikers.
I don't like how that made me feel.
Yeah. I mean, part of it kind of like has a little bit of two guys from Andromeda, that kind of Space Quest inside joke. It's all a reference. Like the ship obviously looks like the ship from Firefly.
Yeah.
But like it all looks kind of scummy, but not in a way that's like funny or charming.
Yeah. Like, that's the reason I said it looks like a fake game somebody made.
Yeah.
For like a TV show in the background. Like, none of it feels real.
Also, the main character is really disgusting to look at, so
I think he just looks like Wayne Knight.
Sort of.
Pre-weight loss.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to check it out, I'm not going to buy it.
What are the reviews on it right now?
The reviews are positive. Not overwhelmingly so, but like a lot of people just saying positive. So
it's very surprising.
Speaking of an inexplicable game with surprisingly positive reviews, we also got Big Rigs Over the Road Racing came to Steam last week.
I can't believe this happened.
It happened April 8th.
Goodness.
It got re-released on Steam, and apparently it's even worse.
Really?
Yes.
I love that it has a mostly positive review score.
It does have a mostly positive review score because people are memeing on it.
Yeah.
The big thing for this is that it's running some kind of background process called Winter Wizard that apparently is supposed to interface with the Steam like achievement system, but people are like, yeah, I've got like a 4070, and when this process runs, like all the fucking fans on my card go crazy and it starts heating up, and it's like, but why? So some people have said that, like, yeah, it probably doesn't have viruses, but some people think that it might have like background crypto mining happening, but that is unconfirmed. That is just conjecture.
Yeah.
Nobody's found that out yet. Yeah, this game sucks.
It was always a terrible game.
Yeah.
I think I could have sworn this was an arcade game, right?
I don't believe so. All I know is that it had the infamous Alex Navarro review on GameSpot, where he's just playing the game and banging his head and like sighing, and then eventually he goes out and collapses on the ground, and it says 1 out of 10. So
those were some of the best reviews or crazy shit like that. I remember the RoboCop one was very similar too.
Yeah,
it's just so insane.
I don't know. All I'm seeing is Windows. So
the game was released for Windows and was exclusively for sale through Walmart.
Oh, there you go. Walmart exclusive.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Which is such a weird thing to say.
Okay, well, here's like a kind of a weird feel-good story. So we all know... Oh, shit, we got to go faster. Must go faster. Okay. Night Dive? How did Night Dive come to be? Well, it turns out there was this one guy, and he went on vacation, and he was playing System Shock. He wanted to play System Shock 2, but he couldn't find a place to buy it digitally online because it wasn't on GOG. So he looked into it, and he found out that when Looking Glass Entertainment went bankrupt, an insurance company ended up with the rights to their assets.
I remember this, yeah.
Yes. But Warren Spector had signed a deal where EA and this insurance company split the rights to System Shock so that no one could ever re-release it because EA wouldn't bother to buy the rights, and the insurance company had no idea what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
So he called the insurance company, and he was like, yeah, I'm calling about System Shock. And apparently he got a call back like surprisingly fast. And they're like, oh, do you want to develop a third System Shock game? And he was like, no, I wanted to see if we could put out the other ones. And they were like, oh, we don't know about that. So then he looked into it on the EA side, and EA had let the copyright lapse on it. So it had fully defaulted to this insurance company.
So this insurance company
Midwest Insurance Company.
System
Shock and System Shock 2. And he was like, okay, well, instead of making a sequel, what if we just re-release the first game? And they were like, do you think anyone would want it?
He's do you want insurance?
And he's like,
this is a weird conversation we're having.
Yes. And that's how Night Dive was founded. And eventually he made enough money to be able to basically buy the rights from System Shock from this insurance company back out and put it out. So
I'm amazed the insurance company was just had held on to it. They're like, does anybody want this?
Well, I don't
know what to do with this.
Like, you know that Blizzard was originally owned by like a learning company.
Was
like
it really?
Like a Scholastic style like educational company that made educational software.
That explains a lot.
They really early on they were like a local place that invested in them, and they just started making like shitloads of money when Warcraft started selling like crazy. And they were like, I don't even know. Like,
I was just helping poor Jimmy over here, and I gave him $100, and now I'm a millionaire. I don't know what the fuck happened.
No, it was Vivendi. Vivendi ended up with the rights to it.
Oh, okay.
Because they were the ones that bought out Sierra, that was the owner of Looking Glass.
Oh.
And then eventually they let the rights lapse because they had no fucking clue what was going on.
Yeah.
So
that's so fucking strange.
Yep.
I remember us talking about this, and the insurance company thing came up, but I didn't realize that that's what started the company.
Yep. And hey, why don't we just wrap it up real quick? We got a couple more stories, but we'll just get those out before we do trailers. The BAFTAs happened. The BAFTAs, for anybody who cares, the video game BAFTAs, it was all Astrobot and that oil rig game, the What Lies Beneath or whatever.
No.
But the BAFTAs had a Lifetime Achievement Award for, what was it called? It was like the greatest, let's see, the most influential game of all time. And it was voted on by the audience. And the winner was Shenmue.
Huh.
Shenmue. Not Mario Brothers. Not Pong. Not anything else. Half-Life. Doom, Quake.
I have so many questions.
Shenmue.
You want to know what happened here, Jeff?
What's happened?
No one fucking knew this was happening. And some guy who loves Shenmue found out this was happening.
Yeah.
And was like, guys, this is going to be really funny.
So here's the thing. They have the list of the 21 most influential games of all time as voted on by the public. Shenmue is number 1. Doom is number 2. Super Mario Bros. Number 3, which makes me think that this was something where I don't know if the Shenmue fans got a hold of this
They
on
absolutely
Reddit or
did.
something.
There's no way they did it.
4 is Half-Life. 5 is Ocarina of Time. 6 is Minecraft. 7 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Which makes me think the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 subreddit got a hold of this voting.
No one knew this shit was happening.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Number 8, below Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, is Super Mario 64. And then Half-Life 2, and then The Sims, and then Tetris, and Tomb Raider, and Pong, and Metal Gear Solid, and World of Warcraft. Baldur's Gate 3, number 16. Final Fantasy 7, Dark Souls, Grand Theft Auto 3, Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto.
Nobody knew this was happening.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone knew this was happening.
Yeah.
What the absolute fuck?
Like, okay, listen, I'm actually more concerned about the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 than I am about Shenmue.
No, that one's stupid as hell.
And I like that game. I really do. I think it's a great game. But, like, this is a list of the greatest games of all time, not like of the last 6 months.
It's not greatest, Jeff. That's the worst part. It's the most influential.
Yes.
This game came out a month or 2 ago.
There's no way to know its influence.
What the fuck are you talking about? How did this even end up here?
I think it was just like a write-in thing.
This is so stupid.
Yep.
This is, oh my god, this was definitely a bunch of people fucking with this thing, because there's no way in hell that Shenmue would win.
Well, you know, if you take Shenmue and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 off of the list, then the list totally makes sense.
No, the list is normal without those two
Doom,
things in
Super
there.
Mario Brothers, Half-Life, Ocarina of Time,
And honestly,
Minecraft, Super Mario 64, Half-Life 2, The Sims, Tetris.
You don't even have to take Shenmue out. You just have to have Shenmue further down.
Move it down a little bit,
and
yeah.
the list makes more sense.
Yeah. I put it at number 14. Put it right behind Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, I can kind of see that.
Baldur's Gate 3-ish.
It influenced a lot of people to make those games again.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We come back. We got trailers and more trailers. So stick around. And we're back. And you know what time it is, Michael? Well, it's almost trailer time.
Yeah.
We had 2 quick stories to get through right before we jump into the trailers. The first is that apparently the Netflix effect has happened to Devil May Cry.
Oh, cool.
Where like there was a huge run on, like the sales skyrocketed over the weekend and the concurrent players on Steam went way up. The same thing happened when they did The Witcher.
Yeah.
They did Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk was like that. Castlevania kind of did for a little bit.
Yeah. Devil May Cry 5 was the 12th best-selling Steam game worldwide over last weekend.
Oh,
so,
wow. Good for Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
I assume the trilogy probably went up too.
Well, there was a complete pack that had all 5 of them,
okay.
and it was like $30 on Steam, and so people
That's pretty good.
bought the shit out of it. So,
Oh no, that's just a good fucking deal in general.
Yep. Oh no, $20. It was on a
Goddamn.
71% discount. Devil May Cry 1 through 5, but not DMC. But
Look,
not
Jeff.
DMC.
Look, Jeff, they don't want garbage in the middle of the thing. I'm just kidding. No, no, it's just, I assume it's just the main timeline then, if that's the case.
Yes.
It is weird. Like, it is strange that they wouldn't put that one in there. Just, I think it's like, I think they should have, just for the completionist of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I mean, it was like a different developer, right? So
Yeah,
like the rest were all internal.
Different developer, different timeline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see why they did that.
And then last, before we get to the trailers, we got a director for the Death Stranding movie.
I keep forgetting this is happening.
Yep. This is going to be an A24 movie, and it's going to be directed by Michael Sarnowski. He's the guy that directed A Quiet Place Day One.
Oh.
And strangely enough, Pig.
That is an interesting choice. You know what? You have my attention now.
Yeah, I really like Pig quite a bit. So
Most people really liked the Quiet Place Day One, apparently. So.
I never watched it because I was like, do I need to watch the other one first? And then like, probably not, but whatever.
It's a prequel one.
Prequel.
But it's more of like it's more of a heartfelt like story, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
The thing is, I know for a fact that like there's not going to be any way to fit a quarter of what the fuck is going on in Death Stranding. It's probably just going to be fucking Norman Reedus versus Troy Baker, like that storyline.
It's all Monster Energy drinks.
It's just Monster Energy drink.
It's just one giant Monster Energy drink.
Pea balloons, pea grenades, and Monster Energy drink. That's all it is.
You think they'll keep the pea stuff? The
No.
pea and the blood and the crap stuff?
Maybe. I don't know. It is like, it's an A24 movie, so I'm more worried that it's just going to end up being like... what's that movie called? Like Jerry or whatever? Where the two guys walking through the desert for like 45 minutes.
I forgot about that.
No dialogue whatsoever.
Yeah. It could go either way. That's
could go either way. Yep. All right. We got a little teaser. By the time this podcast comes out, the full thing will have been released for Marathon. We finally
forgot about this.
We finally got a... we're finally getting more information about Marathon. The full video for that is going to be coming out this Saturday, so the 12th. We got a little teaser that was like kind of security camera footage looking around these kind of 3D environments, and then we got like glimpses of people kind of running and like blood being spilt. There's kind of the end. It ends with like a character getting shot, and it kind of goes to like a first-person camera, and there's like a weird plastic cat thing that comes up and kind of goes up into the face of the camera. I don't know. It's very weird. I don't know anything about Marathon. I don't know why I should be excited about Marathon. I like the colors.
Well, Marathon was Bungie's like really one of their first like shooters.
Yeah.
But it was like a shooter. It wasn't just like, it wasn't some sort of free to play type thing.
Yeah.
And so people were excited originally because they thought it was going to be another like, you know, team shootery type game.
Right.
And only to find out, it was another free to play game.
Another extraction
So,
shooter.
I don't know. It could go either way. We'll find out. It depends on how good the game feels even without needing to pay for money, to pay a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Probably not the sort of thing that either you or I are going to get way far into.
No.
Well, I don't know. You play a lot of Fortnite these days, but I don't know if you're playing the...
Yeah, but it has to be something that I want to do, if that makes sense. So one of the reasons I do Fortnite a lot of times because sometimes it's like, hey, do you want to be Sub-Zero? I'm like, do I? But if Marathon's like, hey, you want to be that guy, I guess? I'm like, I don't really
Blue
care.
Guy 25?
Yeah, it's the reason Marvel Rivals is doing so well. It's like, hey, do you want to be fucking Spider-Man? I'm like, of course I want to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of Marvel Rivals, we got the trailer for the Hellfire Gala for
I did
Marvel
see
Rivals.
this. Yeah.
We got an Emma Frost up in the mix. This is very weird because this trailer was like, oh, you're all invited to this Hellfire Gala, and then it shows like all the characters dressed up in these real fancy outfits, like they're coming to a party. I'm like, you guys do know the Hellfire Club is like a bad thing, right? Like this.
Yeah,
is not,
but this is a Krakoa era thing where that's what they were literally doing.
Oh, okay.
Like it was called the Hellfire Gala, and everybody showed up wearing the weirdest outfits you've ever seen a person wear in their lives.
Well, they got a lot of weird outfits in here. What are we thinking about Emma Frost and her outfit?
It's an interesting outfit because they decided to do like the diamond stuff going on with her instead of her just transforming in the diamond right away.
Yeah.
So she's got like diamond shoulder pads and she just doesn't have pants.
She doesn't have pants
like
She's
at all.
Kind of wearing like a bathing suit bottom.
Like it's barely a dress. Is
Yeah.
the way to put it. But for Emma Frost, it's kind of on brand for her. I
kind of wish that they had gone with something that was a little bit more the fur top, like her classic outfit.
My main issue is the top part of it, not the rest of it.
Yeah,
like it's just like I think the reason they did it was because the Hellfire Gala tended to have weird ass fucking outfits.
Yeah,
so maybe she has a normal outfit that will look better than that because I've seen some and some of these aren't Hellfire Gala outfits for instance. Like Storm is wearing her it's like a Thor outfit from Immortal Thor, I think is what it's from.
And then Psylocke and Magic seem to have just like classic blue and yellow X-Men outfits.
And some of them, like their outfits you can already get, like Magneto's outfit.
Is Wolverine's kind of the Scratch? Is that what they each call the white tuxedo? Oh, Patch.
Yeah, because he has his eye patch in that shot.
So, and Ultron is also there, by the way. So
yeah, Ultron was the other one that was rumored. People were trying to figure out who would show up.
Right.
The main two that people were figured was Ultron and Emma Frost, and which is those are good choices for characters.
No Blade though.
No Blade still.
After all that, no Blade.
After the entire Dracula thing, Blade still didn't show up. I'm curious as to if other characters are going to get their weird Hellfire Gala outfits. Spider-Man had one. He had this very dark, this red spider on like one side, kind of thing. So I'm curious to see if they'll end up just releasing a bunch of Hellfire Gala outfits.
The big thing online now, the meme that you let me know about, and then I saw in a news story is that like because Emma Frost is a blonde white woman with a white and blue outfit, it means that her and Sue Storm and Dagger are all now like kind of
very similar.
Like,
in fact, when I was playing the game, I'm like, is that Storm or is that Cloak or Susan Storm? I don't know.
Right.
I have to shoot that dagger either way to be sure. And then with Magic, it's just 4 blonde white women.
Right.
So it's even worse.
We're one character away from the all blonde white lady team.
Yeah. It's really funny because I saw one of those like Spider-Man pointing memes where it's all 4 of them pointing at each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's just like, this is gonna be interesting. I'm just hoping that we get some more X-Men characters outside of Emma Frost. I want Cyclops, but that's just because I love Cyclops.
Sure.
But
I want Madrox, the multiple man.
But there would be so many great like choices. Like I feel like Madrox would work purely because of the way Loki works right now.
Yeah.
It's
like the duplicates.
Like the duplicates. Like you could just do that and you would have something similar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Duplicating what do they call those? The like duelers or the duelists,
I think they're
or whatever,
duelists,
something like that.
Name.
So yeah,
I think it's been a while. I played the game recently, but I didn't pay attention to what the fuck they were called. Vanguards or something. I don't know.
But guess what, Michael? It's a blonde girl summer because we're not done with the blonde girls in the multiplayer games because Sabrina Carpenter's in Fortnite.
I heard about this and I was like, who? and then I was like, oh, she's like a singer, I guess.
Yes.
And then the funniest thing happened because the subreddit, somebody decided to share, hey, Sabrina Carpenter's in Fortnite. And I don't think her loading screen's really cool. They got banned from the Sabrina Carpenter subreddit for posting that she was in Fortnite for some reason.
Oh.
It was so weird. It caused a weird set of drama for like half a minute because they unbanned him once they realized he wasn't posting AI art.
Oh yeah, I could see that. This is very similar to, but like I don't know. I was very tickled at the idea of shooting people as Mariah Carey when Christmas was going on, and I'm like, I kind of like she's a pop star. She had a couple of real big hits last year. Very catchy. She's also kind of goofy. Like she's kind of a goofball. The thing I also thought was kind of funny was that there was a series of videos that I found in another news story that somehow isn't on my list anymore, where people that were playing as Sabrina Carpenter, when they saw another one, were then just like running up to them and starting to dance, and then the other one would dance, and they would refuse to fight each other. They would just dance together. And then there was one where it was like 3 of them, but then they had like 4 other people that all just gathered around.
I actually heard about that one. And then there was one that made me laugh because the Miku's tried to do that too, the anime.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku. Yeah.
And somebody made a post where they're like, I'm sorry, other Miku, I shot you. But I had to win.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah, it's strange. Fortnite is a very strange.
It's very strange, and they added a new feature where you can share emotes or something with the person next to you. So that's one of the reasons why people got excited. So they're all doing like the dances that she has, like with each other.
Oh, there you go.
It's interesting.
Well, but you know what? It's not just blonde women that are getting good games these days. Blonde men are also getting into this stuff. We got a trailer for the Space Adventure Cobra game. Now, I know that some people may not know what Space Adventure Cobra is.
That's true.
It's an old anime, and they're making a side-scrolling shooter for it. A lot of people probably know this character from the video for the song Girlfriend by Matthew Sweet.
Yes.
That was just like an anime clip show back when we didn't have as much anime. But this is like a side-scrolling action game where you can play as Cobra or a bunch of other characters, and they all have kind of a different move set. It was pretty fun.
It looks really fun, and I'm very happy that this is happening because for a while I thought this anime wasn't real.
Oh,
because of that music video.
Yeah,
because that's happened before, where like somebody will make a music video and you're like, oh, they're using like an old style animation. Then you look it up, you're like, oh, this isn't real.
Right.
And so I didn't bother looking it up for like a good 2 years.
I think it's real. I'm pretty sure it's real.
No, it is real because I remember looking at it because eventually I looked it up and I was like, oh no, this is in fact a real anime.
Yeah.
That does exist, but I didn't look it up for a long long time.
Everybody's got the nostalgia for the 90s anime. This is some fucking 80s ass anime.
Yeah, this is an old school fucking thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell by its design.
Yeah.
And you want to know how? Because there's a point from when Akira Toriyama showed up.
Oh,
from then on, everything changes.
Right.
Because he made Dr. Slump, because this was before Dragon Ball even happened.
Yeah.
So when he made Dr. Slump and he had all these very weird designs,
yeah,
people are like, oh, I can make weird shit instead of everybody looking the way he looks there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the moment where everything changes.
A dude in a skin-tight jumpsuit.
Yeah, because everybody kind of looked like that. They all had that hairstyle,
yeah,
but they were different colored, and they always had that same face.
Yep. What was that? May, June, July, August 26th coming out. Looks good.
It looks great, actually. I'm very. That's a very interesting nostalgia to attack.
Did you know that like a week and a half ago, The Phantom beat 'em up game came out?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you know this?
No, I did not know this.
Oh, yeah. Like
how did this slip us?
I mean,
how did this slip Brian Salisbury? I feel like he's who I would have found this out from.
Yeah. It's like
you know what you need to do, Jeff.
It's like an old school The Phantom, and then it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It kind of looks like the beans and slapping beans. Slapping beans. It looks a little bit like a slapping beans.
You know what you need to do, Jeff? You need to trick Brian into coming to your house specifically for this.
And to be like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna tell him I've got a great anime game for us to play, and then when he finally breaks down and does it, then I will switch to the game that he wants, but not beforehand. But yeah, this shit came out like 2 weeks ago.
How did I not know this was a thing?
Yeah, and it's a beat 'em up, and it looks fucking crazy and
good. It looks kind of fun, actually.
So yeah. Let's see. Back to our regular scheduled trailers. This is a really strange one. Apparently, we got the first Berserker Kazan official Prelude Elamane trailer. And this is weird because it's just kind of a story trailer about a character that's in the game, but all the stuff in here is like what took place before the game.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a story trailer about this character that looks like I don't get far enough in Kazan to know, kind of like a love interest. And they're like, she got a similarly banging metal outfit. And they're like, just traveling around and doing stuff, hanging out.
Another blonde.
Yep, another blonde white lady. Blonde anime white lady.
Blonde person summer, they call it.
Yep. Oh, you blondies out there. It's weird because I thought this was for DLC or something.
I thought it was too.
And then I watched it and I was like, oh. And then unfortunately the trailers really spoiled some stuff for Kazan when they were talking about this character in the good comments. Yeah. But still, it's a strange thing. I don't know. I have to think that Kazan game is actually selling relatively well. Or
really?
Maybe.
Well, I think a lot of people don't even know it's based on a thing.
Yeah.
I think people just generally think it's a new thing.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Because you get your DNF skills out. Let's see. We got the official released trailer for Gorn 2.
God, this looks great.
Looks like a lot more Gorn. Looks like more Gorn than you can shake a wavy ass axe at.
The last time I played Gorn, and this was the first Gorn, I played for so long, I was sore for like a month straight because my body just was not like registering that I was in pain.
Right.
But I was registering that I was freaking the fuck out from things that were quote unquote attacking me. That I think I punched my monitor because at the time I didn't have the house yet at that point.
Yeah.
So I was just like in my living room from my small ass apartment. Fucking flailing.
April 17th.
God, what a great series.
Day after my birthday. Birthday's next week. Oh, yeah, so next week.
We should just watch you play Gorn for your birthday instead.
Next Thursday. Well, it's the day after my birthday, but...
That's what I mean, though. Whenever we
if we do something, yeah.
We'll just watch you play Gorn.
Kind of with that one... New Year's that you guys came over and I just played Arizona Sunshine 2 like the entire time.
It's exactly like that.
Let's see. Switching veins entirely, we got the release date trailer for Everspace 2 Wrath of the Ancients. This is the big expansion for Everspace 2 that adds in a whole bunch of like crazy old ones and giant ships and kind of brand new powers and stuff. Everspace 2 still looks really cool. I don't know why I haven't played it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's a time thing.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
That's really what it is.
Too many games.
Too many games, not enough time. Every game wants to be the only thing that my life is about. I'm like, damn it.
It's true.
So
it looks great, though.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Even though I still don't know if they've released a PS5 Pro version of this game, because they were supposed to have a PS5 Pro update for it. But,
okay. That's probably what you're waiting for now at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, but May 12th is when that's releasing.
Okay.
So got a lot of stuff to look forward to right now. There's a game called Ixion that came out a little while back. It was like a space station management simulator.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It was on the PC like a year or two ago. It launched on the PlayStation on consoles. So
that's fun.
Even though, from what I can tell in this trailer, it looks like you have to use a virtual mouse to click on stuff, and I'm like,
if only we had some sort of Switch mouse.
Does the Switch mouse work with my PS5? Then I'd be
that would be really funny.
More interesting.
You can put a mouse on a PlayStation, right? That is an option that I think.
Yes, you can just plug in a mouse. So, but yeah, looks pretty good, and it's out now on the PS5. So
let's even get the Pro symbol on there.
Yeah, they have Pro support.
It's enhanced.
Everspace 2. What's your excuse?
Billy's mom lets me stay up all the time when we stay over.
Speaking of sci-fi, we got the trailer and the release of Metal Eden. I don't know if you remember this game.
Is this the one where the guy that have like one arm or something, or what am I thinking of?
Oh no, that's a different game. Yeah, I know which game you're talking about. No, this is the one where it's like the cutscenes are like a lady in a jetpack, and we.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like the cutscenes look a little different.
I remember now.
Than the game. The game looks very Doomish.
Yeah, because I always remember this image of her like flying up and like.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks really good though.
Yeah, I played a little bit of the demo, and it not enough to really get into it because I was trying to. I realized I started playing, and I'm like, if I'm really paying attention to this, I'm going to stop reading my news stories.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a game that you have to put your full attention into.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a demo out now on. I'm pretty sure there's also a PC demo, but the PS5 also has a demo for it, and it looks pretty good. So go check it out. Let's see. From there, we got the weapons showcase of a game. This game, okay, this is a really weird game. I pulled this as a Dark Horse trailer, and then when I looked at it, it's very weird. It's a Polish game called Holston, and it's like kind of Eastern European. You're going to this town. The town is overrun by like kind of zombies or some kind of mutants or something, and it's kind of got this like isometric, like third person viewpoint, and it's all pixelated, but then it also goes into first person from time to time. Like they show a driving sequence, but then they also show a shooting sequence where it suddenly turns into like Resident Evil 4, except that the picture of your character is no longer 3D. They're a 2D avatar.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
That's fucking fascinating.
It's very weird.
Holy shit.
Very strange. I love the look of this. It looks like a kind of an old school PC game.
This is so unique. Oh my goodness.
But it's got like melee, and it's got stealth, and it's got like shooting, and it's got some kind of zombie apocalypse thing. But here's the downside to this. I was like, okay, here's a trailer. It says weapons showcase, PS5, PS4 games. This game is a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter hasn't even opened yet.
What the fuck? That's fucking weird.
I don't know if this, because this looks like it's like mostly developed. Like this is a very developed. This isn't like a proof of concept. Like there's like levels and
things are happening in this thing.
Like different weapons and animations and like pixel art and all kinds of shit.
PlayStation is showing this.
Yeah. So I don't know if I missed it because when I looked up Holston Kickstarter, I found a Kickstarter page that had the thumbnail that this video had, but it hadn't opened yet, and I was like, "Well, I don't understand what the fuck is happening."
That's so weird.
Because it's like, yeah, follow on Kickstarter. So I don't know.
Does it have like a link in the menu somewhere?
No. But we can't just go to their Kickstarter or Kickstarter. Did I spell it right? Yeah. And it says like notify me on launch.
Does it explain what the Kickstarter's for?
Oh, it was in the Future Game Show. It was one of those ones that we didn't look at.
That's crazy.
Let's see. You're not the hero. Follow this Kickstarter page to get notified when our official campaign launches in the next couple months. Play one of the 2 demos available right now on Steam. There are demos available?
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know.
Why have a Kickstarter that if you were on a bunch of crazy shit?
The only thing I can think of is that they got some kind of investment money and then they need a little bit more to get it over the finish line.
Yeah, it even says it's going to be on the Switch.
Right? So
that's crazy. So they probably just need more money to finish it.
Yeah. Almost certainly.
That's crazy.
But it looks really interesting. It's got a very interesting,
really
very unique look to it. So
good for them? Question mark. I'm very excited about that. That's really cool.
Let's see. In other filthy dudes shooting guys news, we got the trailer for the Horde Assault mode of Days Gone Remastered.
Oh
yeah. Which is the arcade mode where you just have to survive as long as you can. And you get various upgrades and stuff. I put this in here, Michael, because I didn't have that many trailers. I don't know. Part of me goes like, when this remaster comes out, you should finally try playing Days Gone, because I played it for 2 hours and was like, pass. A lot of people like it though. I don't understand.
Well, no, like, yeah, a lot of people just really gravitated towards it, and everything about it just sounded like kind of interesting. But every time I watched somebody play it, stuff would happen that made it me not want to play it at all. My favorite was like signs appearing or obstacles appearing. Did you ever see like videos like that?
No.
Like people were driving their motorcycles and then like a sign would appear and then it would slam right into it.
Oh shit.
Because it would just like fucking load into it as they were driving.
Oh, I mean, it's probably been fixed at this point.
I hope so. For a remaster, I absolutely hope that's something they fixed. But that was happening even when it was like when it first came out.
Yeah.
It just sounded like not a good time.
April 25th is when that's coming out. I don't know. I wonder. Like, I really do. This obviously I don't give a shit about. I don't give a shit about your weird arcade mode.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem fun enough to really like.
I remember when they announced this, they were making like a huge deal of like how many zombies you could have on screen.
Oh yeah,
it was like waves or so of them, like literal waves. I don't mean. I mean,
you can see it. Some of the shots they've got huge numbers, but.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
I just figured out what it is, Michael.
What's that?
It's PlayStation brand State of Decay.
I could kind of see that, but it is like a single player, like normal game. So I don't know. It's just I kind of understood why people got into it, but it's just I don't know if it was for me.
I think I would rather play that Darkest Days game that we played for Patreon this week. I think I'd rather play that than this.
It's got one guy, like Sam Witwer is a good actor, so I don't know.
We also got the launch trailer for Commandos Origins, which showed a game that I would be interested in playing, but when we tried to play it, it didn't work very well. So
yeah, we tried for a second and tried playing nothing.
Bleach instead. Couldn't turn on DLSS for the life of me, and it kind of ran like butt. So... But which is a shame because I really like this franchise and I really like the way that this new 3D version of it looked. The idea of like assembling the team and kind of a prequel looks fun. Plus you get to blow up Nazis.
Yeah.
I love blowing up Nazis.
Who hates that?
Yeah.
Except for King Koopa.
Only King Koopa. But that's out now. That's on Game Pass in addition to everything else. Let's see here. We got a trailer for The Renovator Origins.
What the fuck?
This is the thing where you're like
is
renovating.
That Ben Affleck's new movie?
Where you're renovating like an art gallery, but it's like also haunted. Like, so you're kind of trying to figure out how to like, I don't know, escape / get rid of / figure out what the fuck is up with a bunch of ghosts. And it's got a bunch of crazy imagery. I don't know. I feel like every week I have another one of these in my list of trailers, something like this, some kind of low rent PS5 or Unreal Engine 5 horror game that runs kind of like butt. But
is this the same one that we saw last time?
no, the one you're thinking of. The reason I put this in the list is because I thought it was that other one where it's like it's like House Flipper but for a haunted house.
Yeah, I thought that I was assuming that's what that was, but I guess
no.
not. That keeps happening with PlayStation. They get some weird shit that's like similar to something else.
Yeah, this is out now. Has anybody heard of this? Is anybody playing this? Probably not, but they must make some amount of money from like
they have to.
Scream streamers or
Yeah.
something. Like, I don't know.
They're like shovelware, but for digital.
Okay, here's something I am interested in. Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 got a release date trailer.
I almost forgot about this.
So this is like a match 3 game about a guy in a haunted house full of dinosaurs and also like ghosts and shit. With the wacky storyline. As near as I can tell, there is no Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 1 or 2. I believe I looked that up last time we looked at this.
Yeah, I remember us looking at like seeing the trailer for this. I'm like, how have I never heard of this series? Only to find out it's not a series. This is the first time they made one.
Yep. But it's even weirder that they made another one of these like match 3 adventure games.
Yeah.
Like there was a bunch of like Bejeweled adventure games that came out a little like 10 years ago or something like that.
It was a very strange time. And the ones who still do it are usually like anime game or anime like type looking games.
Yeah. But this one also looks like it's like got a lot of like comedy, funny stuff in it. So.
Yeah, this looks like they had a great idea, but they weren't sure how to do gameplay, and we're like, fuck it.
Yeah. April 22nd, 2025.
That's so fun.
That's when that's coming out. Let's see. We got the clans reveal for Monster Train 2. Found a few of the characters in Monster Train 2. We got the Banished, Fallen Angels, and we got some the treasure hunting dragons and some alchemists. I still think this looks pretty good. I haven't played the Steam demo yet because I don't think I need to be convinced for Monster Train 2. But I like the art style. They're very expressive characters that they've got going on here. So I don't think I have much more to say about it than that, though.
No, not really.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? I'm skipping this one. Okay, let's wrap it up with a few. These are some fun. These are some weird ones.
Okay.
There's a launch trailer for a game called Tiny Garden, which is basically a virtual like Polly Pocket.
Yeah.
But you like plant crops and then it's like you turn this big crank on the side and they like combine, kind of like Wonderstop or whatever.
For you men, it was the Mighty Maxes.
Yes. And then at the top there's like a little house that you get to decorate using like the stuff that you got from your thing. It looks like a real like kind of cozy
That's a lot
nostalgia
of fun.
game.
I owned quite a few of those when I was younger, actually. I had there was a Ninja Turtle one that I had. It was like what was great, it was also doubled as just like a turtle figure because it was just and by that I mean like it was a literal turtle. Like not like a Ninja Turtle. Like it was a turtle that you open up and it was like the sewer.
Okay.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, you can also put like stickers on the outside of the case and stuff.
That's
and,
really
like,
fun. I wouldn't mind having one of those things again, to be honest.
It was pretty fun. I mean, this is a great way to like do some nostalgia bait, but for the people who remember this, they're gonna be like, oh man, that really takes me back. So
this is really cool.
Yep. Strangely related was there's a demo. This is a trailer for a demo for a game called Outside the Blocks, where you just make little dioramas of stuff. So it's kind of like that game where you build a village. It's just to build a village, except here you're like building like a snow globe or like something on a little round base, like a little house or a little forest scene or whatever.
This is really cool.
And then you could like put the glass on and fill it up with like water and put snow in it and stuff like and it looks incredibly detailed. So
yeah, if that's the whole game, it'd have to be, I'd hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is another thing that like I always see online where people like sell these types of things.
Yeah,
they're always really expensive too because they're so detailed.
Oh, the like custom made little
because people actually make these actual dioramas. Like I bet you people could like looking at this trailer like, oh, I could probably make that.
Yeah, and
then like sell it for like fucking $300.
It also looks like you can like you can do like there's like a mode where you can take like images of it. Like put in a gallery.
Yeah.
Look really nice too.
That's really cool.
Like the super high res stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then last up on the trailer parade, here's another Nintendo Switch 2 game that wasn't announced along with the thing. It's called Mousework, and it's basically a multiplayer. It reminds me a lot of like the
That
mini
scissors
games.
game?
Yeah, like sort of snipper clips, sort of like Mario Paint mini games.
Oh, okay. I can see that based on some of the other stuff going on.
It is a multiplayer party game, so it's like you're working together with another person with up to 4 players. Who the fuck can afford another $90 set of Joy-Cons for 4 players?
They just meet another guy with another Switch too, Jeff. That's all they got to do.
The funniest thing about this trailer is that it's actually not made with Switch 2 hardware because at the time they didn't have dev kits yet.
Oh.
So this is like made with like PC mice and shit. So
that's interesting.
but yeah, it looks like a little mini game collection where you do a bunch of different little things that are all just kind of point and click and up to 4 players.
What a great idea for like once they found out you could do that, they're like, I got a great fucking thing to do.
Yeah. Maybe $15. Maybe it'll be less than $80, Michael.
Maybe like 20.
Yeah.
I'd pay $30 for something like this.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up with some more news. We got the list of PlayStation Plus games for April.
Oh, okay. Is this the free ones in general, or is this the premium stuff or whatever?
I think it's the premium stuff, Plus Extra and Premium Game Catalog editions. I think we already have the Plus ones.
Oh yeah, the actual ones are already out. Yeah,
but the Plus Extra and Premium, we've got Hogwarts Legacy, Blueprints. What's funny is Blueprints is PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass.
Really,
it's on both of them. It launched today on both.
That's interesting.
Lost Records, Bloom and Rage Tape 2, EA Sports PGA Tour Golf, Battlefield 1, and Plate Up. However, that's not the exciting part. The exciting part comes in the PS2 games that are getting added.
Go on.
Alone in the Dark 2 is not a good one, but War of the Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Which I actually downloaded and played this afternoon, and like it up-reses it to 4K. I mean, it's not like perfect, but it looks nice.
Well, I think that was one that you could. That one of the few that you could buy, because remember there was like a small minute where they sold them even before the catalog happened. It was Max Payne 1, Red Dead Revolver,
Dark Cloud.
Dark Cloud was another one, and War of the Monsters. Those were the 4 that I remember.
Okay. Well,
but it's cool that it's on that thing though, because it means that like you don't have to buy it.
Yeah. No, I mean I like the idea that we're getting more PS2 games.
Yeah, no.
I need the like. It's cool that you put War of the Monsters on there, but like, can we get some other PS2? Can I get Burnout 3 Takedown for God's sake?
I still can't believe there's so many games that just will not pop up on there.
Yep. Can you get like a bunch of Kingsfield games or something?
Great.
Also, when it comes to the online stuff, Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming back to Game Pass on April 15th.
No, neat.
This is lined up with the fact that it's now like the enhanced edition, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you're using the PC version, you get all the like ray tracing and crazy stuff. So
still can't believe that game is super fucking old now.
We got a release date for that Sonic Fall Guys game. Sonic Rumble.
I completely forgot about that.
Yep, got leaked a while back.
Yeah.
Finally has release date May 8th.
Okay.
So May 8th. Apparently, it's like there was signups on phones because it's primarily a phone game.
Yeah.
And it was like it broke a bunch of records or something. I got like a whole shitload of signups.
Sonic fans fucking love Sonic.
Michael, I am very much interested in your reaction to this story about how Fatal Frame City of the Wolves. We already had a pro soccer Cristiano Ronaldo, whatever his name was, is in there. And now this week we got the announcements that a real life DJ is being added to the roster of City of the Wolves.
So I vaguely heard about this, and I didn't look into it.
Yeah.
I should have. But I was so confused by everyone else's reaction that I was like, well, surely this is just the made-up person.
Salvatore Ganacci?
And then I found out, no, he's a very real
person.
And he is now a fighting game character. And he looks like, the best way I can put it,
ass. Balls?
Is he looks like
crap.
Somebody that was made up for the Ali G show. Like Borat and Bruno and Ali G himself.
Well, you know why he's in here, right?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. He's the same reason that the other guy was in here. SNK is 96% owned by the Saudi Investment Fund. They came out several years back saying that like this is absolutely not going to change the way that we make our games. Both that soccer guy and this guy are both like stars in Saudi Arabia that do events. The soccer guy plays for their team, and this guy is like a famous DJ there. And so obviously,
what the fuck?
This motherfucker has gotten added in here because look at him. He doesn't look like an interesting guy. I can understand the soccer guy. I can understand one stunt character I can understand, but two, dude, fuck this jumpsuit. He's wearing a tracksuit and some fucking Rocksteady glasses.
And
like
his super is really dumb.
Or bebop glasses? Bebop glasses.
I don't know what to call them, but he looks like it looks so stupid.
He looks like a fucking idiot.
I can't believe this is a thing that's happening. But this is what happens when, a company has to work with another company who has all the money.
It's not even a company, or it's not a company. It's like the fucking it's the brainchild of like the king.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Maybe the king will be a fighter next time.
I don't know.
Actually, that would be interesting.
It's so fucked up. It's just real fucked up because that's yeah. Anyway, don't sell your company, SNK.
No,
just like
wasted slots, guys.
Yep. We got some more interesting news. Okay, there was a whole saga about that happened about, what was it? 4A Games. Yeah. So 4A Games was the company that made the Metro series.
Okay.
And they had a Ukrainian branch and a Malta branch. And then earlier this year, they announced that actually it turns out that those two branches are completely different companies.
Really?
That have been working on different things, and they split into two different companies. And one of them was called Red. What was it called? For Ukraine. Yeah. Anyway, and they were working on Reburn, and they were working on a game called La Chimera, which looks an awful lot like a Crisis game. Like, it's a first-person shooter, and it's definitely got some like kind of high-res assets to it. It's got a sci-fi thing, and you are fighting like robots. And this trailer kind of says like you've got like an exosuit, and you can like use the skills of your exosuit to power up your guns. And I just like, I mean, I'm not crazy, right? This
no,
is like
you're
Crisis,
not. Yeah.
You know,
it's very Crisis-like. And there's one other game that also reminded me. I don't remember what it's called. It's the Time one. I don't remember what it's called.
Time Splitters? No.
It was like a 360 game. It was a very long time ago. But it also involved a suit that you could like enhance shit with, kind of thing.
And you can also play it co-op with your friends online, or you can play it single player. But yeah, the craziest thing is that
is just the Crisis.
It's launching April 25th, and there's a closed beta happening April 12th.
That is just the Crisis pose, though.
Yeah.
That's not even...
It looks like a really pointy Crisis suit.
Yeah, it looks like Crisis from Temu.
Yep.
What the fuck, guys?
Anyway.
Didn't even try on that one.
Also, there was a game that from the developer of Awesome Knots that was called Nubs that they were making. It was like a party game with up to 24 people.
Oh, that's fun.
Just kind of run around fighting people. The kind of one of the ideas here is that when you die, you turn into like a star, and if you get that star floated back to your corpse, then you'll come back to life. But the goal of the game is to collect stars, so people will be trying to like get it the entire time.
Get your star.
The crazy thing about this one is that the company that made this shut down in 2023.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They didn't finish their development. They filed for bankruptcy, and they canceled the game. And then apparently, like, their CEO found another investment source, managed to get enough money for them to finish the game and put it out. And it's coming out. It's down here.
That's so weird.
March? No. God damn it! I can't find these dates. Anyway, the big thing. Oh, May 15th.
Okay.
May 15th. Now,
that's pretty soon. Yeah.
Here's the thing. On May 15th, you can go get the game for $0 and keep it forever. For that one day.
That's crazy.
That one day, May 15th, you can do that. So I'm telling you, RageSelect listener, go get that game, and we can all play a 24-person match for the dojo with friendlies instead of having to let like the scum of the internet into the game. So
that would be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, check that out. Let's see. I don't know, man. Oh god, we're out of time. This trailer for this game called Vin Defiant, which looks an awful lot like Carrion, where you play as a guy with like venom tentacles.
Oh my goodness.
And it's about a guy who gets fired and then he comes back and he kills everybody at the place that he used to work. And apparently the guy that made this game got fired from his AAA gaming job, and that was what gave him the idea to make the game where you get to come back to your job as a lowly office drone and then venom tentacle everyone with it. Because when you look at like what the actual gameplay loop looks like, it looks a lot like Venom. It looks like more like a Venom, a guy in a suit Venom.
Yeah. This looks kind of cool.
It looks pretty fun. Like there's a lot of like just kind of, it's like Carrion, a lot of creative ways to just fucking grab people and throw them into exploding traps and throw them out windows and just yank them around and do all kinds of craziness. So
that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, looks pretty fun though.
That poor guy.
Vin Defiant, go check it out.
But from the ashes, he made a crazy ass game.
Yep. Pacific Drive got their big update. We don't have time to go into it. It's basically your infinite roguelike mode, and also you can save mid-drive. They put out a 5-minute video talking about how it works. Looks pretty cool if you are into Pacific Drive, which I am. Also, Another Crab's Treasure is getting a big update with like a boss rush, some new bosses, some new gear, and a few new things this month.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that game was out.
Came out last year.
Didn't even realize it.
All right, few fun things to wrap up. Far Cry 4 has a part in the game where you meet a lady that has no tops on.
Yeah.
And if you look at her boobs, she says, "Stop staring at my tits." And everybody's like, "Oh, that was cool." There was recently an update to Far Cry 4 where suddenly that same lady is now wearing a top in the game.
Huh.
This came after like the game had been out for 10 years. And people were like, "Hey, what the fuck, Ubisoft? Why are you like going back and putting tops on your topless ladies?" It turns out that the reason this happened was because the Japanese version of the game, you have to have a top on the lady. You can't just have
that's not the country aspect of that to be
the
from.
boobs out. And when they did the update, they used the global release files instead of the like specific release file. So now it's been fixed. You can look at her boobs and have her tell you to stop doing that if that's what you're into.
Far Cry 4, what a great game.
Michael, did you see? I'm not watching the Minecraft movie, but apparently a version of the Minecraft movie with none of the special effects leaked online.
Oh, I heard about this.
And so you can watch like the movie with like really undone special effects, and it looks very horrible and weird.
It looks like a shit post, actually.
Yeah, it looks like an internet.
It's actually somehow more interesting because of it.
Yeah. It is very weird. It is very, very strange.
I'm actually tempted to watch the movie just like this, though, instead. I did that when the Wolverine Origins movie came out.
Me too.
And
fucked that movie up real bad for me.
And when I worked at a movie theater, so when we watched the actual one, the funniest reaction was, "This isn't that much different."
Yeah. Here's the piglins look like.
Oh my god.
This is just what I like is that they took all the hair and stuff off of them, so the cubes are like cubes, as opposed to like cubes with hair on them.
They actually look like almost a little more interesting because of it.
Yeah,
but it also is really funny because it looks somehow more interesting.
The green screen compositing is done really poorly, so it looks like it doesn't look.
It looks
good.
like Jack Black. You remember when they used to make those places that you could make your own video at?
Yes.
Like it looks like that.
Yeah, like a bad karaoke recording.
I kind of love it.
Yeah. Somebody made a WAD for Doom that is called you put the fries in the bag. They made this. It was really interesting. They basically created a game where you are at a McDonald's. There's a bunch of like total copyright infringement in this bullshit.
Yeah.
Monsters come in and they ask for fries or burger, and they ask for a specific number, and you have to hit one button for fries and one button for burger. As the game goes on, they will start asking for like, I want 438 fries and 255 burger, like that I think you should leave sketch.
Yeah.
And you have to push the button once for every one, and there is no counter on the screen. So
you have to know how many you're doing.
And if you serve them too many, you don't get credit for it. there is no saving the game.
Oh my goodness.
If you save your game and reload it, there is one of those, like, the guys that lightning you to death that will burn you alive.
That's amazing.
And apparently if you serve 100 of the customers, you get an ending to the game, but you have to do 100 correct servings in a row without stopping the game or saving or any of that. So
that's incredible.
People are calling it the most hateful game since Desert Bus.
Somebody's going to make it their mission to finish this.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep. So look online for Slendy Mawn, M-A-W-N, for a video called I Made a Doom Wad Where You Put the Fries in the Bag. And last but not least, I don't know if you've seen any of these online, Michael. It doesn't really work without the sound, but people are making little fidget toys that, like, it looks like a comb, and it's got a little tab on the top. But the thing is that the little things on the inside are like little things you plink, and so each one of them is set up to play like 15 notes of like a song as you drag the. Because you know, like when you drag your finger across the top of a comb, how it makes that noise.
Yeah.
But it's like, imagine that the comb was different sizes, and then you basically just it'll play like the Super Mario Brothers theme or
That's
like
incredible.
stuff. So, yeah, pretty fun. There's a bunch of these online now. A lot of people making these.
It's like Mario Paint.
Yep. Holy shit, that's our show.
Yes.
Ooh.
That one was happening for a bit.
That went on a little bit longer than I thought. I really got to get better about cutting some of this shit out. Michael, tell the fine folks at home where they can find you when you're not over here helping me do all of this.
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie television reviews. You can also find me on YouTube under Super Maniacs. It's a Superman podcast I do sometimes.
Yep. All right, that's it. You know, people say they're going to like go to bed and get a good night's sleep. I think I might actually do that, but only because I don't think I'm capable of doing anything else right now. So you guys leave, go play video games, or don't. I don't know. You do whatever you want to do. Just podcast over.